Testing. Testing. Microphone 1, 2. Testing. Guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. Let me just do a little bit of a test here. I have not live streamed in, I think, like a year or two. So, let me test this out a little bit. Check on the video, check on the audio. First time using OBS Studios to do a live stream. And can you see my ugly mug? Okay, got the audio's good, and how's my face? Do I look as ugly and old and disheveled as usual? All right, good deal. Thank you for the super chat already. I haven't done a live stream on YouTube in forever, and I decided that I decided to put OBS Studios in here, and last time I did it, I just did it straight from a webcam to me. And so I decided I'd try this out, and it's been a year or two. So thank you all for joining me. I know this is totally literally last minute, but I woke up this morning, and I'm here in Montana. So for you guys in the East Coast, it is probably closer to 1 o'clock, and for those of you in the UK. Or over in London time there, it's probably midnight, so they're probably already in bed. So it'll most likely be us stupid Americans that are here, and maybe some of you in South America if a couple of you decide to join me. So the reason why I wanted to do this stream is because I'm one of those guys that's away from family. I celebrate the holidays by myself pretty much every year. Last year I was with family, and I was in a school bus, of all places, parked in my parents' yard, and I went in and enjoyed Christmas with them, and then I came out to the yard and stayed on my bus, which at the time was probably about 40 degrees out, and I fired up my little wood stove, and I enjoyed my Christmas day out there with my dog. So let me do this here. I've got to do a little bit of adjusting. I'm going to change my camera here, but I got to do just a whisper of adjusting, and I've got to capture this other camera here. Let's see if is this right? Yeah, that looks it. And I have to adjust it a little bit. This is totally on the fly, so if any of you are wondering why this is probably the worst production value you've ever seen, this is why, because I'm doing this on the fly. But I woke up this morning and I said, you know what? I know there's a lot of you guys that Christmas can be kind of tough because your family is away and you don't have the ability to spend time with them. And you say, something, maybe I'll jump in a chat with a bunch of other knuckleheads and we'll have some fun. Because I do have some stories to talk about. And I was going to do these in normal videos today and just crank them out and push them out there, post them, and then walk off into the sunset. And I said, something? I know chat is always fun when you're on a live stream. Chat's always kind of fun, and some of you guys can really get off in the weeds on some of your topics. So I said, well, you know what? Maybe I'll put a chat out there as well, and that way you guys can join me. So let's talk a little bit about and now that my screen is good, and I know that I can go back to my ugly mug. Let's talk a little bit about finding some good news for 2022. 2021, over on my locals channel, I do my news. I do news segments, Odd Man Out. And about 5 months ago, not only did I have the health issues with my dad, so I wasn't able to stream as much, but I stopped doing the news. And the reason I stopped doing the news is because other people do news better than I do, probably. But the other thing is that there was nothing good to report. There's just nothing good to talk about. I mean, you got the border crisis, you got the inflation crisis, you've got the employment crisis, you've got, let's see what else, the shipping crisis, you've got you've got the jab and bug crisis, which really isn't much of a crisis if you ask me, but they've made it into one. And I said, you know something, I got to find something positive for 2022. And so I think we've got some good news coming. I know it sounds crazy talk, but I think we've got some good news coming. There are a lot of protests overseas in Europe that are not getting, they're not being shown on TV. They don't want anybody to know that other people are standing up and fighting. And I think that's because if you watched my video on the Solomon Asch conformity test, the more people that will stand up against whatever is being pushed at them, the more likely other people are to say, hey, you know what? I'm not the only one in this fight. I can look around, and there's other people that feel the same way I do, so I'm going to stand up and fight. And that's what people are doing against the mandates. That's what people are doing against, passports, the vaccine passports, and all this other stuff. So I think there is a positive to be taken away from that, and I don't think you're gonna make it go quiet. And the only place I feel for really bad is like right now it's like Germany, Austria, and Australia. They're pretty much falling on the wayside. Let me catch a couple of super chats before they disappear. Donation, Better Bachelor, I'd like to interview you in my podcast. I sent you an email. I'd love to get you on Red Sings the Blue. I'll check my email. Now, guys, I'll be honest with you. I have probably 14,000 emails. I can't get through all of them, but I try to at least catch a lot of them. So I will try to look through and catch on that. And Jimmy ZTT says, #1 fan. Thank you very much for that. And last one came in here, Shy Drummer in Kilt. Did you know if we were all side by side and hand in hand going around the earth, 70% of the people would be drowning? The more you know. Hey, as long as I get to select who stands where in that chain of hands, I'm down. As long as I can as long as I can select who stands where. I just noticed someone says, dude, where's your bus? My bus is in Wyoming. I had it repaired. I got it to Georgia, and the oil filter, or the oil gasket leaked, and oil ran back and got into the sensor for the transmission, and so it wouldn't shift out of high gear, or it wouldn't shift out of high gear, and it wouldn't go to overdrive. So starting it from 0 miles per hour, it took me a very long time in fourth gear to kind of get it going, and I couldn't get it up any hills or anything. So I stopped in Georgia, got it repaired. I made it to Kansas, I think, and the gasket went out on it again. So whoever did the mechanics did the job, did an absolutely horrible job. And I had the same problem, and it cost me $1,500 to repair. And I said, you know what? I don't have the $1,500 to put into it right now. And Wyoming is kind of around the area out west that I'm thinking of staying. And fuel is, for diesels, creeping up on $3.54 a gallon. And I said, you know what? Because I'm only getting 5 to 8 miles to the gallon, depending on if I'm going slightly up or slightly downhill. I said, let me put this thing on hold, and then once I figure out where I'm going to live, I'll move the bus there. So, but again, Merry Christmas to you guys. Thank you all for joining me. I know, again, this is last minute. This is just me. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna shoot the shit with you guys and have a little bit of fun. So, coming into 2022, I think one of the big things to take away is that the bug now is pretty mild. It looks like all of us are going to get sick because this latest version of it is highly transmissible, but it's also very mild. So that's the good news. We're all going to get natural inoculation, whether you took the jab or not. And then if government tries to keep holding everybody down, I think they're going to get voted out and get in trouble. And so I think things are kind of going back to normal, much to the chagrin of the authoritarianists. And if you're wondering why I'm a little stumbly, it's because I just woke up like 30 minutes ago and I'm just drinking coffee. So the other things, I think finances, I think inflation, global inflation, that's going to be an ongoing thing. So, hey, you know what? Time to ask for a raise from your workplace and just get it out there. Guys, if you want to make comments and you want me to catch them, make sure to just throw something in a super chat so it'll sticky it up and I'll kind of read them as they go. I don't do this often. I don't do this often, so if there's something that you do want to ask, comment, or have a discussion about, make it happen now, because I do not do a lot of live streams. You guys know this. I usually upload a video, and that's that. All right, so have Gen Z and young millennials figured out dating? I found this article, and I found it was interesting, and you'll never believe who it was from. It's from our bestie friend that we like to make fun of, Jana Hawking. That's right, or Yana. I guess you guys tell me that it's pronounced Yana. Jana Hawking. And if you don't know who Jana Hawking is, she's a crazy. Let me see if they have a picture of her in this article. Do they have a do they have a picture of Jana? Let me bring a picture up of Jana. Of Jana or Jana. Here's our resident expert on dating, 36-year-old. Here's what she looks like without makeup. 36-year-old Jana Hawking. So this is, I like teasing her because she loves telling everybody that here's how you need to date. And then at 36, rapidly approaching the end of her egg cycle, she likes to tell you back. And she likes to tell you, oh, it says I missed some super chats. All right, let me scroll back here. She likes to tell you how you need to date. M. Rio says men going their own way is really men sent their own way. Cope. Yeah, pretty much. Let's see. Joseph Norris, I will not be here. I am not at home to watch it. Oh, Bad Santa was interesting. Oh, you must be you must have watched that over on Locals with me. So, guys, one of the things that I do is over. Thank you for mentioning. I missed a couple of super chats. One of the things I do over on Locals is I take a movie, and my most recent one was Bad Santa. The one before that was The Thing, and I live stream it. And people can chat in the live stream, and I make commentary over the movie. And I can do that on Locals, see, because here on YouTube, if you do that, you get hit with copyright. Let's see. Forum says that was a beautiful pre-post of your bed. Oh yeah, that was my pup's. That's actually my pup's dog, or my pup's dog. That's my dog's bed, my pup's bed. I didn't have the cameras set up correctly. I didn't hit the streaming button. And someone else says, thanks for what you do, BB. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you guys. Merry Christmas and happy holidays. All right, so Jana, however, Hawking, she came out with this thing, and it's called hardball dating. Now, they call her a sexpert. I don't know about, I would agree. She's not a dating expert, but she is a sexpert. She does know a lot about sex. They say here, and that's why I selected this graphic, because hardball, I mean, that's pretty much a pretty good graphic there for that. Sexpert explains new Gen Z dating trend, hardballing, that surprises older singles. Okay, now in truth, this does not surprise older singles. And it's really not called hardballing. It's called traditional dating. I know, isn't that crazy? That they're coming out with new terms for the same way we've been dating for pretty much the end of time or the beginning of time. They say millennial daters are apparently bowled over by straightforward thinking trend hardballing, which requires you to be clear about what you expect from a relationship from the outset. Now, is it crazy? This is something I've talked about many times. Is it crazy to put forward what you want out of a relationship before dating, before sleeping with somebody? No. That's called kind of being a regular person, a normal person. At least to Old Man Joker, that's kind of being a normal person. But today it's kind of like, well, explain your dating. Explain your dating practices. Well, first I jump on Tinder. And then I find somebody I want to smash. And then we smash. And then if we really like smashing, we keep smashing. And then if we like other things about the person, we decide maybe we'd like to date. Except one of the people doesn't want to date because he's Chad Hardbody and he's just smashing the girl because she's fun. Or she's Miss Young Thing who doesn't really want to date. She's just smashing him because he's paying for her bills and giving her a place to live. Like, everything is backwards. See, in my parents' time, and even in my time, like in high school, I mean, you'd still have your little bit of fun out there. without necessarily dating. But it was kind of like this. Hey, I met somebody. They're really cool. Go to the movies. Maybe go to get a cup of coffee or a drink or a dinner or something like that. Talk with them. Do I like this person? Yes. Okay. Are you looking for short or long-term dating? Here's what I'm looking for. Do those match? If the answer is yes, then you can smash. Then you can decide, okay, we're going to casually do this. Or, hey, you know what? We're going to start dating. We're just going to be with each other. That's the right order to do this. Well, young Gen Zers are now discovering, hey, you know what makes sense? Let's figure out if we're on the same page before we like break each other's hearts and not figure this out. And here's why. Because the women that are all chasing the top 10 or 20 percenters, what's happening? Those girls are getting their hearts broken because they're like, well, he smashes, but he doesn't call me back. He doesn't want to hang out with me. He's just, I call it the hardware store, which is he nuts. Wait, let's see. He screws, he nuts, and he bolts. It's been so long since I've used that expression. That's the hardware store. He screws, he nuts, he bolts, and he doesn't come back. And then other guys, again, the other guys that are out there like just trying to normally date, they're not getting much action. So what happens? Women are like, you know what? I'm getting smashed by Hulk Chad over here, and I'm just getting used, and this isn't working out for me. And then the other guys, your kind of traditional guys, well, they're still traditional guys. They're willing to take out a girl and go on dates with her and have fun with her. And so I think millennials are starting to realize things aren't working out. The other thing is, or not young millennials, Gen Z. Gen Z is also seeing all the millennials honestly being weird as hell. Like a lot of millennials are kind of weird as hell. Let's be honest about it. And they see Gen X, those Gen X parents that raised the weird millennials, and I think Gen Z's smart enough to be like, you know what, they're all weird. Like, I don't forget it. They're all weird. So apparently now they're calling it hardballing if you just date traditionally. And that's, I don't get that. But hey, you know what? They say an all-new dating trend is taking over the love scene, which an expert claims is shocking millennials. That's right, Gen Z is shocking millennials. Hardballing is a new dating term which is popular with Gen Z, those born after 1995, which has apparently had older folks baffled after years of toxic dating rules. Now, why would this baffle anyone? If a younger generation sees the older generation and they're like, wow, they are toxic, they are screwing it up, they're angry, they're frustrated, like nothing is going well. Nothing is going well for the millennials. Young people are not stupid. You guys know this. You either are or were young people. You're like, hey, old man boomer, I know what's up. I pay attention. You and your... yesterday I replied to somebody on Twitter, and they were born in like 1948, and they insulted me. And I'm like, why don't you go back to technology you understand like a typewriter? And that's kind of how the Gen Z thinks about, I'm a Gen Xer. Gen Z probably thinks the older millennials, the Gen Xers, and the boomers are like, you don't understand technology, old man. Let me tell you all about TikTok and and all the cancerous other apps out there. So anyway, so the younger Gen Z people are looking at millennials, they're looking at Gen Xers, and they're like, you guys are unhappy, you're miserable, you're weird because you're jumping on, TikTok or Instagram or whatever. You've got a bunch of weird problems. You want to talk about your 43 pronouns and how you and your blue hair and how Chad dumped you and nobody wants you anymore. We got to figure this out. And so Gen Z's like, okay, the smash and dash happens too much. What if we slow down and figured out maybe a better way of dating? Let me pause here. I want to go back and catch the super chats before I miss all of them because they'll scroll off into Affinity, and I don't want anybody that's kind enough to give me a super chat and give me a little love. I want to make sure I read. I can go back here. $15 worth of super chats from me, very top, missed. I'm sorry. I can't scroll back. I'm doing this through. Let me see if I can pull it up on. See if I can pull it up on my phone, guys. I don't want to break off my stream very frequently to. I don't want to break off my stream very frequently to read super chats, but I haven't done this again in a very, very long time. So let me see if I can go to my own live stream here and see if I can find the super chats. I'm sorry about this, guys. Please bear with me. You have to understand, I am old man who does not ever stream. So I will catch these as I can here. Just bear with me. Just bear with me. All right, let's see if I can catch it in the stream here. All right, how far does this let me scroll back? Great, now I'm listening to myself. All right, I'm sorry, guys. We'll figure it out. If I missed it, I apologize. Steve Step Survival. He says, yeah, $15 worth of super chats for me. Very top missed. I apologize for that. I will try to stay on top of these a little better. Hello, Joker. I hate the way things worked out with your bus. The way you renovated that thing was so impressive. Would you consider trying again using a manual transmission? Man, a transmission swap. Here's the thing. That has a I forget the. I think it's a. I'm having a trouble remembering the transmission in it. It's a great transmission. The problem is the oil keeps leaking and screwing up the sensors. So unless I can find somebody that can properly fix a damn oil leak on a bus, which I didn't think was rocket science, it's like a DT 466 engine, which it should be simple. Every mechanic says they're rock solid. I just got to find somebody that'll do the oil change. But I'll get the oil filter fixed somewhere around Wyoming. I'll get it back on the road. But instead of driving it everywhere at 5 or 8 miles to the gallon, I'm going to just put it on a piece of land once I can find some damn land that I can afford. Daniel English says, Merry Christmas, y'all. Saw a nephew on Eve. He's small but doing well, looking to try hobbies in 2022, do Amazon publishing, and maybe getting a raise. Good for you, man. You got congrats on the new nephew. You can visit, you can enjoy them, you can play with them, and then you can give them back, and you'll never have to pay for their way through college. That's a good way to enjoy kids. And get Amazon publishing, that's great, and getting a raise. You need a raise. Guys, if you're not getting a 10% raise, look for another job or threaten to get another job. Because I'll tell you right now, inflation is up. The government's saying 6 or 8%. We know that's a lie. I mean, bacon is up 20%. And once you start messing with Joker's bacon, we're going to have problems. Gas is way up. Everything's way up. Greetings from Scotland. First time seeing you live here. I'm disappointed not wearing Christmas hat. Your doggy is cute. Enjoy your holiday, sir. Thank you very much. Yeah, the dog's, he's around here somewhere. I don't know what he's doing. Yeah, my Christmas hat, I think, is at my parents' house. For some reason, I didn't think when I left my parents' house in June, May, that I should bring it with me. Matthew Tristram says, Happy holidays. Hope you and your family are well. Thank you for the value you're putting out here for young men like myself. Get on Locals, guys. Yeah, Locals is free, and it's just free to sign up for. But if you do pay the $5 a month, hello 21 Studios, thanks for joining us, man. I just caught you guys highlighted in here. For the 21 Studios, separate math. For the $5 a month, what's really important about Locals is you do get unique content. But the thing is, there's free speech forums. I got people over there talking about the jab. I got people talking about the mandates. There's people talking about politics. There's people talking about men getting divorced and men's topics. And the other cool thing is you can post anything over there that there's no copyright. So some people are putting links to their favorite songs here on YouTube. There's just it's a really cool hangout. So those of you that are like, hey, you know what? I'd like to tip Joker, I don't know, $5 super chat. Go ahead and do it. But for that same $5, you get a month over on Locals. Let's say, hey, Joker, I lose track of the Bachelor bus. No, it's still around. It's still around. Great to catch you live. Happy holidays. Thanks for the videos. You are welcome. You guys are I got to be honest with you, like I'm a hermit for the most part. I really am. I'm a hermit. I just hang around here. I do a little bit of work. I take my dog to the dog park. I got some skis and I've got a mountain bike. So I'm either going to be skiing, downhill skiing. I don't cross-country ski. I'm going to be downhill skiing or I'm going to be mountain biking. And I do Brazilian jiu-jitsu and I go to the gym. So that's my only interaction with other human beings for the most part. So you guys are my go-to to have some interesting conversations and to have some fun. Naro P, I mean, what happened to it? My bad. Happened to my bus. I've explained that. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, am I caught up? I think we're getting caught up here. Nope, it just jumped again. All right, I'm sorry, guys, but I do live streams so rarely. I want to make sure I get everybody's super chat in because I appreciate you spending that money, and I don't want you to feel like I'm slighting you or missing you. So feel free to. This is an AMA. Like if you want to get live with me, this is the time to do it. Shy drummer in kilt, knowing the cluster F we're in relationship. What do you think is the best vector of attack? And try to change things political or cultural. Politics is always downstream from culture. So whatever's going on in culture, politics will follow. A lot of the times, even the Supreme Court here in the United States will do what's popular, not necessarily what's constitutional, and that's very frightening. What we need to do is change culture. The way we change culture is if we can't control culture anymore, we have to vote with our dollar. A good example. If you look at The Matrix, okay? If you look at The Matrix, that film flopped, and they had a message with it. And a lot of people are going, not because I did a video of it on my Better Bachelor B-sides here, and I did one over on Locals. I was a confused old man, that whole movie. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I'm so lost. I'm so confused right now. What is going on? That was my takeaway. I didn't look at any trailers. I didn't look at any synopsis. I just watched the movie. Like, I know nothing about Matrix 4. Here's Matrix 4. I watched it, and afterwards I was like, well, that was complete crap. Like, I got nothing. I was a confused old man. So if people don't pay for that movie, but then they do pay for Spider-Man No Way Home, which I enjoyed immensely, I think it's raced up to like $600 or $700 million domestically, which means it's making money faster than the Marvel Infinity Wars and all that stuff without China in those numbers. That's how you change culture. You vote with your dollar. You vote with watching YouTube content like mine. You vote with making fun of people. You vote by going on 9gag and upvoting the memes that agree with your view and downvoting the ones that don't. And over time, we'll kind of start tipping that boat a little bit to start heading it in a different direction. But you got to vote with your dollars. You got to vote with your voice. And I actually have a screenshot here I'll show you that is a good example of voting with your voice. Master A Music, Yo Bachelor, Merry Christmas, man. You literally saved my life last year. You're really connecting to the kids. I'm 22 and all my friends watch you now. I'm so appreciative of that. You know, I feel like old man Joker because, you know, I'm twice your age and you're a year younger than the girl I'm dating. See what I did there. But the way that I try to come across is I try to be middle of the road. Some guys go more off to the right, and you guys can complain or say whatever you want. But my point is there's a lot of content creators, and some of you hate some, and some of you love another, and some of you appreciate this and don't that. I just try to be middle of the road, get you guys a message, make you laugh a little bit, try to keep it clean so YouTube shares it with more people so more people can hear the message. That's key. Because believe me, if you go to Locals and watch some of my videos, I curse like a sailor who's had his finger cut off. Like I curse, man, I love my swear words. But I don't do it here on YouTube because the more I can get the message out, the more guys get pulled into the manosphere, the more guys find going your own way, the more guys find this stuff. Then it's up to them to find somebody that they resonate with. Maybe they go to somebody like Undead Chronic, who is like he's a sledgehammer in a china shop. Maybe someone finds ABBA and Preach that just touch on it. It's like a dusting of manosphere. Maybe some guys go and find someone like Jack Murphy and learn what it is to have your girlfriend get plowed out by a guy that's not you. You know, but it's a community. Let's see. Tim Taby says, guys, get on BB on Locals. The community makes a world of difference in the dark times we live in. I agree. Like, that is my go-to place for happiness. The only social media I'm on is Twitter, and I do this as kind of an anonymous person because I don't want anybody to be able to talk to me on social media except YouTube. I mean, because I'm here. And I do have an Instagram account, but I don't really do anything with my channel there. That's just about my travels and my photos. But, you know, Locals is my go-to for social media, and because it's with a bunch of like-minded people that I really get along with. Let's see, Sweaty Boy, $10. You're right, my girlfriend and I are both Gen Z, and on the first date, we both asked each other if we were going to be serious, and we've been together for 4 months now. Merry Christmas.
Ding, ding, ding. What do we have for her, Johnny?
Were you guys able to hear my sting okay? I never know if I have that adjusted right for the volume. Exactly right. I say this time and time and time again. Guys, if you want to smash and she wants a long-term relationship and you lie and you smash, that's the girl that's going to be angry with you, thinks that you're a liar, and she might be the one that says, hey, this guy took advantage of me, he did bad things, maybe makes an accusation that isn't true to punish you. And in the same token, guys, if you want a long-term relationship and she's like poly whatever with 4 other dudes, maybe perhaps leaving nightly deposits in her, you want to be well aware of that, because otherwise you may catch the gift that keeps on giving, or she may baby trap you or something else. So very, very, very well done, Sweaty Boy. That's what I'm always saying. Look, you can, if you want to smash, just do it. If you want the one-night stand, do it. If you want a long-term relationship, do it. If you want to have 3 girlfriends, do it. If you want her to have 4 boyfriends, good on you, do it. But the big thing is make sure the rules are set up before you get dating. Let me keep coming down here. Fives says pronounced fives. Oh, I see, because it's 5, then the number 5. I only saw 5s because old man eyes. You're a big reason I decided to move to Florida and do what makes me happy. Now I'm not afraid to get older. 25. Merry Xmas, baby. Or Merry Christmas, baby. Florida's great. The free state of Florida. The only reason I haven't bought a home down there is because my parents live there. And you know what? I'll get their house at some point. So there. Let me scroll up here because they keep jumping. I'm just going to hit live chats super chats until they stop. But we'll get on with the rest of it. Let's see. Let me see if I can catch the rest of these here. Thank you, guys. Read that one. It looks like our locals is like our personal 4chan. Exactly. Like our meme thread. Our meme thread has like 5,000 memes on it now. And the thing is different than 9gag is like they're all kind of manosphere and or a little more conservative leaning. Any advice for incels? Been lifting for 4 months, still no smashing happening. So this is from Vishal Singh. Here's my best advice. Number 1, keep lifting. Keep lifting forever. Don't stop lifting. Eat. If you're overweight, eat a little bit less, like more protein, a little bit less carbohydrate. Proteins make the muscles. Carbohydrate gives you the energy, right? But if you're a little bit overweight, the energy is already there. It's stored on you in fat. So go higher protein, lower carb if you're overweight. If you're underweight a little bit or you're a little skinny, up those carbs, up that protein a little bit more, keep your fats in line. There's lots of YouTubers that'll help you with that. Keep lifting. Keep lifting forever. I got to get back to it. Old man Joker's been lazy. But the other thing is get really comfortable to talking to strangers. Like, you don't have to go up to a girl and ask for her phone number. That's like on scale of difficulty from 0 to 100, that's like 80. Walking up to a girl and asking her, to S your D, like Chronic probably would, that's a scale of 100. Just, you know what, when you go into a coffee shop, say, hey, how you doing? That's it. Or when a barista asks for your order and you go, hey, what's going on today? Working you hard? Yeah, I'll take a black coffee. Just start with a little stuff. Talk to everyone. Talk to anyone. And that way you get used to people reacting negatively to you, people reacting positively to you, and you learn how to read people. And that way that way you can learn whether, hey, if I talk to this girl, yes, I can tell she's interested, or no, I can tell she's uncomfortable and I need to go away. Practice that stuff. And again, there are books about how to talk to anybody and how to get comfortable with other people. But keep going with the gym. That is the right thing. Let's see. Great Dog says, Merry Christmas, guys. Lawyer 57 says, have you seen the clip where Biden says he agrees with Let's Go Brandon? Watch Jill's face. Yeah, Jill kind of went like, she kind of looked down and then went, and then rolled her eyes a little bit. Yeah, again, a president houseplant's got his struggles. Thank you for helping me understand women. I've been in a 10-plus year dry spell, and today's women suck. I miss 1995. You and me both, brother, but it can happen. It can happen. You just gotta keep trying, brother. All right, let me see if I missed any others here. I got to scroll up. I'm not scrolling through the chat. I'm scrolling through my OBS software. So if it doesn't pick something up, please forgive me again. Okay, I think I've gotten all of them. Again, guys, if I missed something, I am really sorry. Old man is trying to do his best. All right, so Gen Z is coming around. I think they're catching on, just like our Super Chat friend there said, that they're like, hey, you know what? This isn't working out for me. And the way you get this out there, guys, is by keeping the message out, by keep talking about it. So they say essentially hardballing is when someone on the dating scene is very clear about their expectations from a relationship, but it's not confined to those looking for long-term monogamy. Right. No one's saying you have to make the rule to only sleep with one person or date long-term or whatever. What they're saying, well, and this is a message I've said now for a year plus, 2 years plus, make sure you're on the same page. Just make sure you're on the same page. Okay? And that way there's not misunderstanding. No one's blaming anything. You don't have the problems. They say whether they're looking for casual friends with benefits situation or are aiming for marriage, a hardballer makes it obvious what they're after from the outset. And that's a win. That is a win because
just makes common sense.
It just makes common sense. It's common sense. Make sure you guys are wanting the same thing. If I invite 14 friends out for dinner and we don't have any idea what we're going to go get for dinner, and we get together and one guy's like, he only wants pizza and someone wants Mexican and someone wants a cheeseburger and someone wants to go to Hooters and get awful wings but look at tatas all day, you're never gonna come together on it. That's why you make the plan before you implement it. They say whether they're looking, and if their date doesn't match these expectations, then it's a straight up goodbye. Win, win, win. Sexpert Jana Hawking examined the term in her podcast, Kind of Sorta Dating, and wrote about it on news.com.au, where she talked about feeling out of the loop. This is really important. And again, Jana Hawking, the sexting dating expert, whatever, if she's such an expert, why hasn't she been not only knowing what this is, but telling people to do it? Why? Because she doesn't do it. She doesn't even use her own advice. What she does is she goes out and smashes. She goes out and party girl. She goes out in clubs. Then she starts sleeping with a guy. They're together for about a month, and then he bounces. There was some like ex or current like rugby player or footballer or somebody that she hooked up with, and they had like a one-nighter or maybe a two-nighter. I remember reading that in the press, and game over. So congratulations. Somebody made a nightly deposit into her. She had a one-time fling, and what'd she get out of it? Nothing. And she's going to keep going until no one finds her attractive. No one is interested in her. The eggs are now all dried up, and she's going to be a 40-something person that's like, oh, good thing I froze my eggs, and why doesn't anybody like me? So that's why I make fun of Jana Hawking so much, because she does everything absolutely backwards. Okay, let me catch up on Super Chats again because I don't want to leave anybody hanging. And I thank you guys so much for your support here today. Like, this is amazing. Let's see. Thiago Gonçalves. Okay. You can tell I don't look at a lot of... That is a very different spelling of Gonçalves. Thiago Gonçalves. I'm okay with not having women in my life, but I struggle with the thought of not having kids. How do you deal with not having kids? Very easily. I enjoy my life. And I mean that seriously. Like, I enjoy my life. You know, with children, what people don't realize is, let's say you are married. Let's say you have a wife, you have a happy house on the hill, you have 2 kids. I got news for you. Now it's going to be about school clothing and making sure they go to soccer practice or football practice for those of you overseas, and to make sure that they're clothed, make sure the house is going well, make sure you have a minivan, make sure your next 18 to 25 years of your life is for your kids. So if you're a guy that's 25 years old, all right, the next 25 years is going to be all about your children. So when you get to be my age, then you can have your freedom back. Well, I mean, you've still got your wife, But remember, a lot of that is you got to keep the wife happy, keep the kids happy. Everybody's got to be kept happy. That's up to you. See, without me having a wife, without me having kids, whatever I do is what I want to do. And you guys, you longtime viewers know this, so I'm not going to dive way into it. Stuffing an 80-liter backpack with a tent, clothes, some hiking poles, extra boots, some swim gear, throwing a backpack on my back, 36 countries later, backpacking all around the world, staying in my tent, staying in hostels, using buses, using trains in Japan, sleeping in my tent, whatever. I did that for 15 months. It cost me $12,000 US. That's less than $1,000 a month. You can't rent a place for less than $1,000 a month. It's cheaper to travel around the world. You have kids, that's gone. So I guess it's a mindset. Like, I've never really wanted kids. I mean, there were times where I thought about it a little bit. My freedom is so amazing that at the end of my life, if I didn't do something that I wanted to do, if I didn't do something that was a goal of mine or a dream of mine, it's all my fault. I can't blame it on my kids that needed this or my wife that needed that. And just talk to married people that have kids, because they're like, hey, what are you doing for the holidays? I'm like, and this was a couple years ago, several years ago, when I was still working my 9-to-5 job. They're like, what are you doing for the holidays? I'm jumping in the vet. I'm going to go down to Corpus Christi and maybe go scuba diving. They're like, oh, yeah. I'm like, what are you doing? Oh, opening presents with the kids and the mother-in-law's coming over. Hey, sounds like a great time. They were jealous of me constantly. Let's see, Sarah Sumkote. Man, Dara Sumkote. You guys make this tough. Baby, my cool logic, RP Red Pill creator. Thank you, sir. Terrence Pop for the wacky grunt, Red Pill. And Fresh and Fit for the circus of women on the show for After Hours. Y'all bring me so much joy and entertainment. Merry Christmas and happy holiday to you and yours. Thank you very much. Same to you, my friend. And that's the beauty of it. Some of you may love or hate Fresh and Fit. Some people love and hate me. Some people love Terrence Pop. But the bigger this message, the bigger this movement gets out there, the more people learn about this stuff, and then they can tune into the creator that they enjoy the most, as long as they're getting the message. I cannot pronounce what seems to be an Eastern Bloc pronunciation. Opa top. I don't know my Russian and or whatever, so I apologize for that. Will you ever go on Poolcast? Sick of the garbage manosphere reps getting the spotlight. I'd go on there, but he doesn't invite me, so I'll never be on there. I mean, he goes probably to Fresh and Fit because they've got like 500,000 subs, and I'm stuck right around 355. So unless I got to 500,000 north, I'll probably never be able to talk to people or get people interested talking to me, like whether it's Tim Pool, whether it's The Quartering, whether it's Jordan Peterson, whether it's Rogan. Those guys are like, I'm still small fish in a big pond, so I don't think that'll ever happen. Patelron 6 says, Joker, for old time's sake, can I get a how dare you sound clip? Also, one of my favorite videos from you are the stoicism videos. See you on Locals. Well, I'll tell you this.
How dare you?
How dare you not well, you're on Locals, so I can't even say that.
How dare you?
How dare you on me for messing that up? That is one of my favorites. I've kept that around. I'm trying to mix new ones in. If you guys watched my live stream, movie night of Bad Santa, while we were watching that, there was I've seen Bad Santa, I don't know, 80 times. There was a part, and I said, oh, I got to grab that for a new sound clip. And I grabbed it. And so here's from Bad Santa. I just made this new sound clip yesterday.
You need many years of therapy. Many years of therapy. And I bullshit you not.
That's my new one that I just made from Bad Santa the other day. I always try to bring in new ones because I don't want to keep doing the same ones over and over and over again. So, okay, and let's make sure. See, Jerome Payne says, thank you, Joke, for your content. You are welcome, sir. Ben Foster. Merry Christmas, man. Sharing your advice with my young sons. You are transcending generations. Can't thank you enough. Slipped up and bashed feminism at the work the other day. Would you advise to shut up or hold my ground? Here's the thing. When it comes to bashing it, it's the same thing as now. Can women walk around and say all men are pigs? Yeah, they can. Do they get in trouble for it? No. you have to put yourself in a, are you comfortable in getting fired or losing out on a promotion or having to look for a different position? Because that's where we are. If you say, you know what, I'm okay with that, like I really kind of hate work and I'm looking for an excuse to then stick up for yourself. And make, well, I always say stick up for yourself, but I mean, go at it hard. If a woman's like, all men are pigs, say, so are all women. If you see how much the average woman weighs, like slap back. But you got to be able to judge that, because if you listen to my advice and get fired and then you call me an asshole, I can't help you. Let's see. 5 says, my plan is to move to Orlando after UF MBA to be a logistician. Yeah. And use Florida to travel around the world. Glad you have a similar appreciation for travel. Yes, Florida, again, the free state. Jason Tarantino says, 18 to 25 is being generous. I'm in my late 30s, and I see a lot of my peers still living with their parents. It's pathetic. Well, I'm saying Gen Z is winning, but I'm not saying that no one else isn't winning. I'm just saying that Gen Z seems to be coming around to being more conservative. Like Gen Z is legit becoming more conservative. So I think that's a win. And that's important. So let me jump down here to the bottom of the chat again. And again, guys, if I miss any, I apologize. So Yana Hawking, the girl of the wonderful idea of going out, smashing, and then trying to get a girlfriend after that, or a boyfriend after that, she's like, wow, this is shocking.
I am shocked. Shocked. Well, not that shocked.
This is shocking that people are actually coming up with an idea of what they want to do before they start dating. Again, this is not rocket science. How this is new to her, I got nothing. So Yana 36 says, in the early 2000s, when I was in school and trying to figure out how to get a bloke's attention, I read with much enthusiasm a book called The Rules. It sold over 20 million copies and was lapped up by single broads. It's just a bunch of rules on how to play hard to get games, glorious games. We've all come across something similar due to our single years, where it was read in the pages of Cosmo, or you heard it on a radio show. But after all, rules like playing hard to get, waiting for 3 days before calling, or limiting how many kisses you text with are always to manipulate the dating game. Yana added, old me thought this was a never-fail method of attracting a boyfriend. See, this is what they get wrong. They think playing games wins the day. And as a guy, the problem is you sometimes feel like you have to play games, right? Because if you meet a girl and you have a great time and a great date, and I actually, back in the dating days when phones existed where you could text, but you didn't necessarily have quite so much social media, if I went on a date and it was a pretty good date where I felt like we both clicked, if on the way home or that night I said, hey, I had fun, maybe we'll do it again sometime, after that they were gone. You took the mystery away. They got home and they were like, oh, I wonder if he liked me. I wonder if he enjoyed it. Oh, yep, here's a text. He messaged me first. He must like me more. Oh, he says that he had a good time. Easy catch. I'm not interested. But what I found is on similar dates, if I just was like, nah, I'm not going to bother messaging her, within a day, sometimes two, she would message me saying, hey, I had a great time. I hope you had a good weekend. And then if I messaged back, yeah, having a great weekend and a great time. Yeah, it was fun. Would you like to do something in a couple of days, like this Friday or something? The answer would be yes. So you have to make this like, I call it the mouse chase, which is you have to dangle the string just out of their reach and keep them chasing after it. Just keep that string just out of their reach and they'll chase after it. But if you take that string and throw it on the cat will play with it for a minute and then it's bored. And if you take the string up in the air and wave it around your head, the cat will watch it. It'll be interested in it, but it's not going to move. It's just keeping yourself just out of reach. Let me read this one before it goes away. Politics is downstream from culture. Culture is downstream from the meow meow, the punani. Yeah, that could be true. And OFODC, $5. Thank you very much, sir. So, the way, and if you watch dating coaches, if you watch pickup artists, they'll like, 20 ways to get her attention, 20 ways to make her really interested in. All you have to do is understand, don't make yourself too overly available. Don't make yourself too rare. Seem like, hey, you know what? I kind of like you. I dig you, but I also have a life of my own. If you can find that happy balance, you'll be fine. Well, what Yana's saying here is like, oh, we have to play the games. Well, if the girls are playing the games and the guys are playing the games to counter the girls' games, and then the girls try to counter the guys' games who are countering the girls' games, we know that they know that they know that we know that we know that they know. This is where people are like, I can't keep up with this. Like, I'm out. I'm out. So young people today are like, look, okay, this isn't working for the older generation. And people my age are like, hey, this isn't working for anybody. I'm not just saying it's the younger generation, but the younger generation is catching on. The younger generation is finding red pill content. The younger generation are sharing memes on 9gag. The younger people are on Twitter making fun of this stuff. And they're saying, okay, we're going to figure this out. We're smart. We're young. We're smart. We're going to figure this out. And so what they're saying now is, okay, here's what I want. What do you want? You want the same? Okay, we're good. Let's do this. But Yana, at 36-year-old, she is like, oh, this is so shocking. Why are young people like this? She said, old me thought this was a never fail method of attracting a boyfriend. Exactly. She thought if you played enough games, see if I can get this centered on the page. There we go. Go away. If you can play enough games, you'll win. But then she admits herself, jump forward a couple years later, and I guess it's really no surprise to find out I'm single. Well, no kidding. No kidding. Of course you're single. Why are you single? Because you're playing the games. And young people want to cut through that and just get to it. So even Yana admits, jump forward a couple years, guess it's no surprise to find out I'm single. Ding, ding, ding. No kidding. She said, happily I can report that times have changed. Well, see, Yana, Miss Yana Hawking, I keep wanting to call her Jana because that's how we dumb Americans pronounce it. Miss Jana Hawking or Yana Hawking. She keeps saying, hey, you know what? I'm enlightened. I've learned something. I've found out something new. I've learned something else. Hey, I'm going to change the way I do things. And what's she do in her very next post that she talks about? Well, I went to this bar clubbing and me and my girls smashed these dudes and here's another guy that I fell for and he doesn't want anything to do with me. Like, no kidding. No kidding. So she says, I can happily report I'm changed and the times have changed and the things have changed. Oh, what are you doing to change it? Nothing. I'm going to keep going about it the same way because that's what she's done from the time she was 18 to 36. She doesn't know how to date anymore, and she's even admitted this. She says, and it seems that the rules have shifted as Gen Z hardball their way into stable relationships. Again, she keeps calling it hardballing. That's her word for it. But how about this? And it seems the rules have shifted as Gen Z have decided to be adults and communicate their way into stable relationships. I'd call that a lot more accurate. Let me jump on these super chats again before they disappear because I feel awful every time they do and I don't get to your guys' stuff. Will you ever do a Project 21 convention presentation? I don't know. I do not like speaking in public. I very rarely do live streams because I go off on these tangents. And to actually do a good public presentation, I'd have to write something on paper and stick to a script. I don't really do that very well. I just shoot the shit. So, but I have no problems talking to people in public. It's just really not my thing. McChilla says, I'm hungover AF, stayed up late watching Smoke and Scan. Anyways, F the gynocentric overlords. My New Year's resolution is to give Brandon and Jack Murphy a zinc donation. Well, let me ask this. I don't know your sexual proclivity, but if you're able to give a Brandon and or a Jack Murphy a zinc donation, okay. I don't think that'd be a pretty hard wank for me. I usually tend to use ladies for the zinc donations, but and Rusty Shackelford says $50. Merry Christmas. Thank you very, very much. Your guys, everything that you've done as far as donating and supporting me and all this stuff is so great because I'll have an announcement as to my father's health update in a few days, I think, and things are not going so great. So we'll be talking about that soon. But all your donations help me take care of my family and all that good stuff. So Gen Z is now communicating their way into relationships. Well, duh. That is about the best thing you could do before you actually have sex, before you hook up, before you get emotions involved. Because time and time again, guys are like, you know what, she left me out of the blue after I've been so great to her, and I just don't understand what happened. And women are like, you know what, he slept with me for a month or two, and then he bounced, and he got some other girls. So, yeah, you gotta make sure. And it doesn't mean, let me be clear about something, it doesn't mean that it won't change. It doesn't mean that a girl won't agree to a long-term relationship and will stay with you no matter what. No, there's still a high likelihood that she will still go find some other dude that she's made into a back burner, which is he's just a friend. I know him from work, but we like talking. That's a back burner dude. Just because she says she wants to be in a long-term relationship with you doesn't mean she won't have a back burner. And then what happens when things start getting shaky with you? She turns on that back burner, starts heating that back burner up till that's bubbling, that's ready for a relationship. And then just like a cat knocking crap off the shelf, you know, cats just do that. They push that crap off the shelf until it falls on the floor. She's going to scoot you and push you right up to that ledge, knock you off on the floor, and then move her new guy right into where you were. And guys are like, what? What? That's going to happen. So this doesn't guarantee the relationship's going to work. We've got here, but how do you hardball successfully? I'm going to stop using her damn term hardball, and I'm going to say, but how do you communicate successfully? Because that's really what it means. Well, matchmaker Susan Trombetti, CEO of Exclusive Matchmaking, told InStyle, communicating isn't an opportunity to speed date until you get the right answers. Date several people at once in the beginning so that you are confident in this person offers you what you are looking for. Have options. Don't just zero in on one person and project your wants onto them. Basically, be like the younger generation. Be clear, gently explain that you've thought a lot about what you want, and don't zone in on them if they're after something different. If your date doesn't want what you do, then they probably weren't your perfect match anyway. Again,
Ding, ding, ding! What do we have for her, Johnny?
Again, this is what we're talking about. Like, if you're casual, don't try to convince her or don't tell her you're going to be long-term and then end up breaking her heart. If the guy wants long-term and a girl wants like 5 different boyfriends, tell him that. If we get back to honesty and dating and in the relationships, well, now we're going somewhere. Like, now you're cooking with heat, and that's the whole trick of it. Rusty Shackelford, $50. Merry Christmas. Thank you. I don't know if I read that one yet. Show Saver, $200. I don't have a big, let me see if I can find a great, we'll hit this a couple of times for you. Thank you very much. I don't have an over-the-top, like, celebration for big donations. Thank you. And Julian Reyes says, if we tolerated lying, then no promises could be trusted, and our society would be unstable. Kant's formalism or duty ethics. Right. Exactly. And quick one, Rodrigo de Salva, women have made it very easy for us to walk away. Very much so. So, right. If we tolerate lying, everybody's lying. Everybody lies about everything. They lie to get what they want. They lie to sleep with a woman. You know, and it used to be women were very much a guy, ladies, don't believe men. They'll sleep with you or they'll lie to you just to sleep with you because they'll say they want a long-term relationship. They say they love you, but they're going to sleep with you and leave you. That was a real risk that women took, and it was a legit one. But now what's happening is that there are men that still do that. There are women that say, no, I've only had 3 boyfriends when their body count's in the 40s or 50s or 60s, so they're lying. There are women that say they want a long-term relationship, but they're not really sure, and so they stay in a relationship that they're enjoying for a little while until something better comes along, when in reality they didn't want a long-term, like, meaningful relationship. They didn't want Mr. Right. They wanted Mr. Right now. So this generation is starting to see all these problems, and they say, you know what, we've got to change this. That one snuck up from nowhere. Mitchell Leonard says, Merry Christmas, Joker. I'd like to thank you for opening my eyes to the BS. You are welcome. You are welcome. That is what we need to do. And like Rodrigo de Salva said, yeah, we have to make it we got to make it easy to walk away. Because if we don't make it easy to walk away, they're the ones with the power. They're the ones that control the dynamics. And I'll talk more about that in a second. Oops, that one just disappeared. Savvy D says, Merry Christmas, Joker. Been watching your great content since mid-2019 when you talked about a friend self-deleting over his ex. Yeah, that was like one of my first or the first video I put up on YouTube. I cursed so many times in that video that it got demonetized, and I think it got shadow banned. So when I redid my channel and kind of cleaned things up so I could become mainstream YouTuber to try to get more views, and let's be honest, won't lie, try to make an income for myself. Some people seem to shame me for that for some reason. I don't know about you. I like getting paid for my work. I had to remove that one, and then I put it on a couple other places. I don't know if I could find it again, but I'll look for it for you guys. Keep up the grind. You're making a positive difference. Thank you, sir. So, and Deadly Raver. What? Do you mean that being honest and dating is better than playing games and being fake all the time? Shocking. Also, Merry Christmas. Exactly. And so the younger generation is saying all of this isn't working out. So what is again, what are they saying? How do you hardball and or what I call communicate successfully? Just be open and be honest with somebody. You know, put in your dating profile. You know what? I'd like to meet somebody cool. I'd like to, and if we get along really well, make something out of it. Like, you don't have to be super boil it down to anything. But if you just want to hook up, put, hey, you know what, looking for fun, not ready to settle down, just looking for cool people to hang with. If you want a relationship, you don't have to say you're looking for a relationship. That's a lot of pressure, and that's too try hard. So what you do instead of that is you say, hey, dating until I find someone that meets what I'm looking for, and then let's see where it goes from there. You know, or would like to meet someone that fulfills my needs or whatever. You can make it modern. You don't have to make it sound like wanting to find Miss Perfect for marriage. And no, you don't need to do that. And that's what the young people are doing. It's called basic communication. And those of us that are in the know, we know this. That's why I've never had anybody kind of come after me for lying and or fibbing just to get in her panties, because that can get you in trouble. It's why I haven't. That's why women that are smart that do this don't have the guy that are banging on their door at 2 a.m. trying to break the door down because there's some other dude in there, because that guy thought that they were like a serious one-on-one relationship. If you communicate this, and like they're saying, if you're not on the same page, move along, and that's how you win. And you know what? Just scrolling through this, all right? I'm just scrolling down through this page. Look at where we pause right here, okay? Now, I actually, this teacher quits a job to make 80,000 pounds a year as a sex instructor and sleeps with 250 men. I actually did a story on this one. I don't know what this one is on the left, but she says, I'm hosting a sex party on New Year's Eve. I want to see in 2022 with a bang. This is a great example. This is a very attractive woman. I don't know of too many men that would be like, you know. Now, I might suggest wrapping it up a couple of times so you don't wake up with a gift that keeps on giving, one of those STIs. This is a pretty girl. You know she's going to get a lot of attention, and that's exactly why they write this stuff. It's virtue signaling. It's clickbait. It's trying to draw you into this stuff. Well, if you want to change the world, if you want to, if politics is downstream from culture, if you want to change the culture, you have to look at girls like this and just be like,
Oh, wait, you serious?
You need to look at them and go, cover yourself up, God. And yeah, she'll look at you and be like, shut up, because she's got 4,000 other simps. But you know something? If everybody looked at her, and said, you know what? Go away, you're dirty. If I want to look at Bob's and Vagin, I can type Bob. I don't know if you hear that. Bob's and Vagin. Google. Don't use Google. Use DuckDuckGo. Googles are evil. Bob's and Vagin, DuckDuckGo. It's free. You don't need it. And laugh at these girls doing this. If you go to Reddit, there's just NSFW Reddit. There's women that are like, give me 15 likes, and they're lifting up their shirt. They're showing everything they got for 20 likes for virtue signaling. The more guy, now here's the thing. If you say, yeah, but I like looking at that stuff, great, look at it. Don't like, don't comment, don't share. Just be quiet, like the peeping Tom opening the blinds and looking in the windows. Just be quiet, look at it and go, that's nice. Moving on. Stop virtuing, stop thirsting, stop simping for these women, because it gets you nowhere. I got this screenshot I'll share with you guys. I thought this was funny and very apropos, right? I didn't hide her names. I didn't hide her name. This is on Twitter. Please do not go out and give her a hard time. That's not what this is about. I just forgot to mask her name. Please do not give her a hard time. Okay? Please don't. Because that brings light. That makes us, again, if we want to, you guys want to win the culture war, let me be clear about something. When we want to win the culture war, when we want to bring back some sanity into this, you can't go out on flame. I mean, you can do whatever you want. I'm not telling you what to do. But if you really want to learn how to change society, you win more, you get more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. So if everybody goes out and jumps on her page and just rails on her, she's going to say, oh, you know what? She's a bunch of incels, a bunch of simps, a bunch of losers, and it's going to cement her position. But if you just ignore people like this, or if you do what this Jurtle did, what a name, Jurtle. She says, would you? And then she posts a couple of pictures, and I found this on, I think this was on 9gag, so somebody tiled this out. And she says, would you? Even if in your mind you'd say, yeah, I would, don't tell her that. It's a thirst trap. And this Jurtle says, I would not, sorry. And he got 1,300 likes for that. And she says, I don't care. And he says, yeah, but you asked. And that also got 1,300 likes. So here's a girl saying, would you do me, basically? And she shows off her body. And a guy goes, no, I wouldn't, sorry. And he gets a lot of likes. She says, yeah, but I don't care. And he's like, well, you asked. The more times that, even if you think you would, even if you think like she's cute or whatever, until we can shame simping, until we can shame that stuff, until we shame being thirsty in these thirst traps, until people stop engaging in this. Because if you like this, is she going to sleep with you? No. If you like this stuff, is she going to message you and say thank you and let you take her out on a date? No. If you like this or comment on this, is she going to send you a private message with her without clothes in it? No. So what is the point of boosting her ego? She doesn't give an F about you. You're throwing a penny in a well. That's what you're doing. Everybody's walking by throwing pennies in this well, and that well just collects the money, but the well does not care who threw the penny in. That's what these women are doing to you. Just stop it. Let me catch up on a couple of these. Somebody, let me catch up on super chats here. Somebody says, Joker, you should soundbite critical drinkers go away now. I honestly did think about doing that. I really did. But my fear was that people would be like, oh, you just stole that from another content creator, be original. Like all my soundboards are from movies and stuff. His go away now. It's brilliant. Just go away now. I would like to steal that. But that's his thing. That's his soundbite. And it's a soundbite out of his own head. I think it's a great one. But I would not take that away from Critical Drinker on his movie reviews, because I like that. I like when he says that. And if I took it and did it, I'd be taking something away from another content creator. I don't want to do that. But when I do something like this,
I'm not going to call him Dad.
Ever. That's from a movie. Master A Music says, legit saw a girl on TikTok trying to promote her OnlyFans and then looked her up on Reddit and through there found that all of her videos have been leaked. Yeah, all it takes is one person to pay the $5 and someone that's creative on a computer. They download it all, they leak it, and now she's out of everything. And the internet's forever. Just ask Jack Murphy. The internet is forever. Chad Glamuzina. You know what? So many content creators go, Chad, I can't pronounce that one, and then they just read it. I always challenge myself trying to read the names. Chad Glamuzina. Chad Glamuzina. Too many do's and don'ts now. I'm out and have been out. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. Yeah, there's the rules. People are tired of the rules. People are tired of the BS. And that's why I think the millennials are coming around. I think the millennials are coming around to, hey, enough is enough, man. Enough is enough. And this is how you do it. This is grade A correct. So this Jurtle at Jabroni IRL, love that. This is how you do it. This is how you change society. This is how you change the culture. And this is from market research. Now, I know some of you are middle of the road politically. I know some of you are conservative. I know some of you that like my content that are left-leaning. I love all of you. I hope you all stick around. But it is the left-leaning side that is pushing feminists. It is the left-leaning side that is pushing authoritarianism. Now, in the 80s, a lot of you don't know this, it was the conservatives that were pushing authoritarianism. They wanted to ban rap music that was too dirty. That was conservatives trying to be authoritarianism. Conservatives wanted to get away from the First Amendment when it came to rap lyrics. And the Supreme Court at that time said, no, freedom of speech. Rap lyrics can be whatever they want rap lyrics to be because they have the freedom of speech. But it was the conservatives that were pushing to shut it down, mostly very religious moms whose kids were listening to music they didn't like. It was the conservatives and some liberals that were worried about video games with all the running around shooting and all that stuff. So it was both sides, people on both sides of that. So just because I'm calling out the left now doesn't mean like, hey, I'm all in on either side. So you guys got to understand that. I have my beliefs, and I right now I am middle of the pack. So understand that when I make comments, that's where I am. Unfortunately, the left is going too far left. And the reason why I mentioned the political part of this is because a new study, a new survey shows Generation Z is becoming more conservative. And it's favoring national focus over globalism. And why this is important, is because young people are saying, you know what? I don't care what's going on over in China or Taiwan or Japan, or I care what's going on in Mexico or South America when it comes to being happy. You're not going to get somebody that's in Southern California to agree with somebody that's in the Middle East, who agrees with somebody that's in Poland, who agrees with somebody else that's in South Africa. Like, we have different cultures and different tribes and different groups of like-minded people. And if you don't believe that, why do you think people are moving out of California to Texas and out of New York City to Florida? Both New York and California have about a negative 350,000 population for the year, which means that more people are leaving than going. Well, why would people move? Because they want to be nearer to somebody that's more like-minded than they are. So when you try to tell everybody we're going to be all under one big globe and one big happy family and one big government, you can't make everybody happy that way. So Gen Z is like, hey, you know what? We need to lock down the borders a little bit. We need to favor national focused over globalism. And we need to focus on conservative values, meaning conserving what we have. And just like they talked about in this article here, what they're doing is they're going back to the way that their parents, maybe their grandparents, their great-great-parents, grandparents used to date, which is, hey, you know what? Let's figure out if we're on the same page. Let's go forward together. And that's carrying over into their worldview. Which means when somebody says, hey, How do we, is it culture or politics we need to change? And I say politics is downstream from culture. That is not my original idea. Many people talk about that. Well, here the culture, even though the culture is very far one way, which is woke and feminism, women are strong, we need to have a representation of every community. And if you disagree with any of our views, you must be outed. Well, Gen Z says, hey, you know what? I see what's going on. And you're trying to other anybody that's not in your camp. I disagree. And so the pendulum is starting to swing back in the other direction. That's why I have hope as we move forward. That's why I have hope. Alex E. sent $9.99. Thank you very much, Alex. Chad Glamuzina. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that, man. I'm trying. Glamuzina. Chad Glamuzina. Yep, the pendulum swing completely the other way. We need balance. P.S. It's Glamazina. Thank you. See, that's why I try Glamazina. And if you send something else and you don't send the pronunciation, I guarantee I'll screw it up again because I'm an idiot. Glamazina. All right, so yes. Now, has it swung back all the way? No. But what happens is as the pendulum swings across, it's like going more left, more left, more left, more left. There's going to be a point, because it can't keep going this way. It can't. Because that's when you end up with people literally fighting in the streets. Because there are some people that are like, that's it. Nope, too far. Too far. Let me get my long-range hole puncher, and we're going to settle this. What's happening is it's starting to slow, and Gen Z and other people are saying, hey, you know what? We need to start bringing this back. Now, the Overton window and other things like that have shifted. But you know something? If that pendulum swings back hard enough, we can swing the Overton window back a little bit. The only people that the Overton window has truly changed for is the media and the movies and, you know, the creatives out there, out in Hollywood. I think we can bring it back. And let's see. Let me do a dating profile. Let's jump in with a dating profile of the day. All righty, then. We'll do a little music for you. We're going to break this up with a dating profile of the day. Doesn't mean the video's over. We're just going to break it up a little bit because I got lots to talk about today. And you guys that are alone on Christmas, why not hang out with other people and have a great conversation? This gal has green hair. Green hair.
I am shocked. Shocked. Well, not that shocked.
But you know what else she has on here? A photo filter. She has a photo filter on here. Guys, you'll never believe this. You'll never believe this. She is bi. Shocking. She's bi. She's 24, green hair. She looks like a little bit of a bigger gal.
Was she a great big fat person?
She says, my hobbies consist of video games. Okay. I know guys like that. Reading. I know guys like that. Cuddling. I know you guys like that. And going on adventures. I am a huge brat and will most likely annoy you at some point. Okay, that's a warning sign right there, guys. Any woman that says I'm a brat, that means she's selfish, entitled, she wants her way, and if you don't play along nicely, it's fight time, it's breakup time, it's crazy time. She's going to use her green hair and go all Hulk on you. So she's bi and crazy is basically what she's saying. She also says, I can't do small talk. So she doesn't like having small talk conversations. And I always try to have a good time. What does that mean? Party girl. She's a drinker. She might do a little Mary Jane. She likes to party it up. So she's immature. She's party time. And here's the last sentence. And this was what really matters right here, guys. You ready? I am in an ENP or ENM relationship. What's ENM? You guys can tell me in the chat. What's an ENM relationship? A non-monogamous. Something non-monogamous, I'm guessing. Emotionless, non-monogamous relationship. That's my guess. Am I right? Emotionless, non-monogamous relationship. So that's the thing, guys. She's even admitting it right here. I'm always trying to have a good time. I don't do small talk. I'm a brat. You better do what I say. And bye. Which not only am I at risk of cheating on you or leaving you for another dude, but I'm at risk of cheating or leaving on you with a girl. Warning, 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 warning. All right, moving on to our next topic here. The Keanu Reeves hover hands. It's not just a good idea, it's mandatory. So when the new Matrix came out, I said, you know something, I'm going to talk about, like I did some research on Keanu Reeves. And I said, hey, you know what, for fun. Oh, guys, don't forget to smash that like button while we're here. Smash it for the green-haired Hulk here. Smash the like button. Smash it if you'd never date her and you'd run away at full speed. Make sure to smash the like button so more people know we're streaming live and will come join us. So I did, after I watched the Matrix 4, which is the biggest dumpster fire of a movie ever, and if you're thinking about watching Matrix 4,
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so, sir.
don't do it. And if you're going to do it, jump on a pirate ship. Make sure you get it without funding the cause, because yeesh, was that a bad movie. If you go to my Better Bachelor B-Sides, if you watch my movie review, I admit, like, this is what I say, guys, this is going to be an awful, completely confusing movie review. Why? Because it was a completely awful, horrible, confusing movie. It's like trying to explain to something what a Jackson Pollock painting means. Like, it's just a mess of whatever. But when I was looking that up, I came across Keanu Reeves, and I was doing a little digging on Keanu Reeves, and they were talking about the hover hand on him. And somebody on my Locals channel the other day sent me something, and I said, hey, you know what? I'm gonna talk about this. Let me read this before it disappears from Axios, MX $100 from Mexico. 1970s, here we go. Yeah, baby. 1970s was a good time because that was kind of the free love disco era, but you also had a lot of people that just said, hey, like, this is what I want from a relationship. This is what I want from the world. And, you know, hey, 1970s was a good time. Okay, so the Keanu hover hands, why it's just not a good idea, but it's mandatory. So I started digging in on the hover hand thing here a little bit. And I found this article from Hanky Panky. The hover hand. Let's see if I can center this halfway decent so you guys can read along with me. The hover hand, why awkward guys do this and how to fix it for good. Are you going to tell me that Keanu Reeves is awkward?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so, sir.
I don't think so. Keanu Reeves is not awkward. But why do they want to fix it? Because they don't like how the photos turn out. Why? Because, and this is a guess, I have not read all the way through the article because I like to surprise myself in these. They do the hover hand, right? Because guys don't want to get blamed for grabbing some backside, some of that thickness, the thickness. So instead, they keep their hands out like this. You know what? When a girl shows it to all their friends or whoever, it makes it look like the guy doesn't want to touch them because they're gross. That's my guess. I don't think they like it. I think the hover hand's a great idea, and I've got an example why. I've got a nightmare story of when a guy did not use hover hands when he should have, and it almost landed him in jail, and it ruined his career just from hover hands. A hover hand makes everyone cringe, but why do guys do this? And if you're that guy, how can you fix this for good? Here's everything you need to know. All right, well, you know what? I mean, if it's with your girlfriend or something, don't worry about it. But if it's like at one of the, what do you call them, the conventions where you have everybody dressing up in the outfits and everything, I don't go to those. I don't, But if it's that and one of the girls, you want to take a picture with one of the girls, just stick your arm straight out behind her. And then here's the trick, right, guys? Is if you take a photo with a pretty girl and you do the hover hand, here's what's great is, like, say that she's, Say that she's my water jug right here. And you got your hand like this, and this is her back, right? When you crop the photo, you just crop it to where you crop your hand out of it, and you have her side. But keep that original. So then you can share a photo where it looks like your arm's around her. But if anybody calls you out on it, you've got the uncropped version to show you had the hover hand going. Let me read this before it goes away. Comrade Roshkova. In school last month, I saw my boy in class with a T-shirt saying, "I'm a simp, super into mashed potatoes. Man, men, you are great." Okay, if you want to be that kind of simp, that's good. And I want to say Michael, M-I-C-H-A-E. Well, there's no A. Michael or Michael. I hope I'm getting that right. Greetings from the Netherlands. Keep it up, Joker. Man, I love the Netherlands. I cannot wait to go back to the Netherlands. When I was in the Netherlands, I flew from Iceland to, it begins with a B, on the very far west coast. Is it Bergen? Bergen, Norway? I want to say Bergen, Norway. Way up there on the west coast. I landed there, great little small town. I ended up meeting a really cool Polish girl. She was like 22, and we ended up going across Norway together. Yeah, it was fun. I'll just leave it at that. Let's see. So they don't want you to hover hand anymore. So why do some guys have hover hands? How to avoid the hover hand? Everyone knows the hover hand, and yet no one really knows why some guys do this, and they just can't stop. No, I think it's a good idea. You know what the hover hand is. What is a hover hand? Just in case you don't know yet, we got you covered. Hover hands are something we see exclusively in a photograph because nothing captures an awkward moment like a photo does, don't you think? Hover hand is that weird hand gesture when a guy confidently places his arm over a girl's shoulder only to realize he isn't confident enough to touch her. So he ends up hovering his hand over the girl's shoulder. It makes him look funny, awkward AF, and everything about that moment is hilarious, weird, and cringeworthy. So here's the thing. Young guys who do not have enough experience with women, who don't have enough experience dating, maybe they are somebody that is like an incel or somebody that just hasn't had those experiences with a woman, it can be a little nerve-wracking to put your arm on around a woman's back and set it on her shoulder. It's a big move. Now, in my day, we didn't have the internet. We didn't have all the craziness. So, that was when you're at the movies. Usually when you're like a 14-year-old kid, 15 years old with your first girlfriend. But if you're a 25-year-old guy who's now just for the first time being around women, it's going to be just as awkward for you. If the girl's comfortable enough to stand next to you, here's a simple way to do that. You just say, "Hey, for the photo, can I throw my arm around your shoulder?" If she says, "No, I'd rather you not," great. Stand there with your hands like this, or President Nixon. Do something. Just ask her. But do it in a fun, casual way. Like if you ask her all nervous and shy, is it okay if I... Don't do that. Act confident. Is it cool if I sling my arm around your shoulder while we take this photo real quick? Yeah. Cool with you? Yeah. Boom. And then do it with confidence. And if you're really confident, you wrap your arms so far around, you grab one bob of each girl. That's you got to be a little bit longer arms and really confident to do that. But if you guys watched the episode where I was on Fresh and Fit, not the segment ones, but the full long intro one, you'll see me sitting there and I've got one girl on my lap. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. Let me just put it on me while I do this search real quick because I want you guys to see this, all right? Let me pull it up because I think it's a learning moment here. I think it is a learning moment. Let me see if I can find this. So hang with me here because I want to see if I can find this video because I had fun doing this. A lot of you guys, some of you are critical of F&F, and I get that, but helps if I spell my own name right here. But I think I want to go into this because I think this might be a learning moment. All right, so this is the long stream here if I find it. And I'll pause the video because, copyright and all that stuff. because they've kind of been out. And let me load up this screen here. Thank you guys for being patient here. But like I said, I think this is a learning moment. Okay. Let me pull it back here. All right. So this was the beginning of the Fresh and Fit podcast, and it was my idea. I said to these guys, I said, you know what would be fun? Like everybody knows I'm the Bachelor. A lot of people know that I've kind of been monk. And a lot of people think like I don't know how to mac on women and how to talk to women. I said, what would be funny is let's set it up to where instead of doing your official, let's pretend like we're all surprised and that they started streaming and we weren't aware of it. I think it'll be a laugh. I think people will get a kick out of it. And they were like, okay, yeah, let's try that. So what I did is you'll see me here in the center. If I don't know if I can get this to zoom. Yeah, okay, we're slowly getting it to zoom here. It doesn't really like zooming video up. It's kind of hard to see. But if you look, right here in the middle is me sitting there. And on my right knee, I've got this girl. And this girl's sitting in the chair next to me. And I've got my arms around both of them. And I'm just BSing with them. Okay? And I said, you know what? This is funny. This is funny because people aren't going to expect this. The way you get comfortable with people, I didn't know either one of those girls. They just showed up to be on the show. I didn't know either one of them. But what I did is I just said to them, hey, okay, here's what we're going to do. You sit on my knee, and you sit on my left, and we'll pretend like we're macking on each other, and I think that'll be funny. What do you guys think? And we had been talking for about 20 minutes prior to the show when I'd been kind of being like getting friendly and getting comfortable with them. And they were like, yeah, that'd be funny. So being comfortable with people allows you to do that. Well, if you confidently, just like they say here, hover hand is that weird hand gesture when a guy confidently places his arm over a girl's shoulder only to realize he isn't as comfortable or isn't confident enough to touch her. You get beyond that, but you also make sure that you're safe by saying, is it okay if I throw my arms around your shoulders and we take a photo? If they say no, don't do it. If they say yeah, do it. So they say, how do we see this happen? In millions of pictures snapped by somebody else, a guy wants to have his picture clicked with a girl. He wants to appear close to her and supremely confident. But in those few minutes before someone clicks his picture, his hand just magically floats up because he can't handle the girl's hotness. See, that's what they think. His hand just magically floats and hovers in the air because he can't handle the girl's hotness. That's not what it is. That's not what it is at all. It has nothing to do with her hotness. What it has to do is he might be shy, and he doesn't know what she's comfortable with, and he's trying to be a little careful, and he might be nervous. He might be nervous. But it has nothing to do with her smoking hot, because I'll tell you right now, Keanu Reeves does the hover hand with everybody he takes a photo with that's female. I don't know if he does it with the dudes. But you always see him like kind of doing the Jesus pose behind him. Like, hey, guys. And so if you're going to ask permission, you don't say, can I? Can I is a weird expression. Can I kiss you? Can I hug you? Can I put my arms around you? Can I hold your hand? No, don't do that. Don't do that. Just say, hey, is it cool if I hold your hand? And if you think you need to ask, if you're shy about it, just say, hey, is it cool if I throw my arms around your shoulders while we take a picture? Just like that. Doesn't make you sound shy. It makes you sound confident, but it also means you're asking permission. And guess what? Here's why it matters. I'll read down through the rest of this, but here's why it matters, okay? Keanu Reeves proves the hover hand is actually good. So this other article is kind of crapping on the hover hand, but here's why it's a good idea. There's a difference between avoiding also me and the simple respect for boundaries, which is why we stand a culturally aware king. When Keanu Reeves, arguably the most beloved man in Hollywood, takes a photo with women, he puts an arm around her back, but he doesn't place his hand on her. In a saner time and culture, this fact might be seen as beneath discussion. Unfortunately, we are in the United States, and this is 2019 when they wrote this, but an age of chaotic hyper mediation, so Keanu cannot practice such behavior without the world taking notice, and thus a mega viral tweet. Says, LOL, Keanu ain't taking no chances, and they have one of his pictures with it. This dude wasn't the first to notice the always be my baby, or always be my maybe, scene stealer's hover hand, of course, and neither was he the first to imply that it had something to do with the climate of sexual misconduct allegations made under the banner of the Also Me movement. In January 2018, a photo of Reeves is visibly not touching women to either side of him made the rounds, first on Twitter and then on Reddit, with a caption describing his legal insulation by way of a reference to the Matrix. By not grazing their arms, the joke went he protected himself. Right. So, of course, Keanu in the only Matrix film that really matters to me, the first one. I know some of you like the second and thirds, but for me, really, the first one was where it's at. When he leaned back and kind of dodged the bullets, that was him seeing and being able to control the Matrix to save himself. And that's the joke here, is that he saw the climate, he saw what was going on in society, and he decided to do the hover hand to protect himself. And somebody says here, so you're telling me I can dodge lawsuits? No, Neo. I'm trying to tell you when the time comes, you won't have to. They say more interesting in telling them these images, I think, are the assumptions of intent they raise and the way celebrity cool may recontextualize an otherwise maligned habit. Start with the idea that Keanu is not taking chances or reading the room. Well, I have little doubt that Keanu is sensitive to the dismal gender dynamics of his industry. He's done a far better job than his peers, seeking out women-directed projects, for one. Well, that didn't turn out so good for him for The Matrix 4. Let me tell you, that woman's secret project, that sank like a lead balloon. They say it's absurd to say he's respecting personal space just to duck the reputational damage of an accusation, in part because many stories women tell about predatory men do not involve publicly documented moments. And here they talk about Will Smith also doing the hover hand thing. And I wanted to talk about this because, again, it's not just the Hollywood A-listers that need to be aware of this. And I do have a story that somebody getting in trouble for it, but let me play this real quick. Let me just set the speed, playback speeds at 1.25, so we shouldn't get any copyright issues.
And you do the arm,
Oh,
but
yeah,
just
yeah,
a little bit of space.
Yeah.
A little bit of air.
Yeah.
So it's just a hover hand.
A hover hand, yeah.
So this is Will doing hover hands. This is classic.
Now let me pause it here and let me get rid of this graphic right there. All right, now it's hard to tell, but if you look at the video, you can see air just a little bit. Maybe I'd say like a deck of cards space between him and the woman on his left, and over here on the right, like his wrist, his hands like full on sticking out. His hands full on sticking out. He knows. He knows too.
Hover hand. See, down here, classic hover hand, and just a hover hand.
Yeah. But no, because it's strangers. You can't just be touching people, you know.
And that's kind of what he's saying. He's like, look, this is strangers. You just can't go around touching people. For two reasons. Number one, out of respect for them. And number two, because you can get yourself in hot water. I think this was this is an Irish comedian. Veteran comedian Sil Fox cleared of getting in trouble for supposedly assaulting a woman at a Dublin bar. This ruined his career, and it almost got him landed in jail. And again, what saved him? Closed circuit television, CCTV at the bar. Without that, this guy might have been toast. And look at him. At his age, his prostate might not even work. He might not even be able to fire up a chub anymore. Veteran comedian Sil Fox has walked free from a court after he was cleared of taking advantage of a woman in a bar in Dublin. Sylvester Sil Fox, 87 years old. A woman tried to accuse him of something. Pled not guilty to the happenings on December 2018, after he agreed to have a selfie photo taken with a woman. The charge was dismissed today. So my man here, this is from May 17th, 2020. So it's a little bit older. Almost 2 years he had to put up with this. It took him 2 years to be cleared and found not guilty after he agreed to have a selfie photo taken with a woman. The charge was dismissed today by Judge Paula Murphy because of inconsistencies between the complainant's evidence and CCTV footage. Again, but if they didn't have that CCTV footage, he would have been toast. After the decision, Fox, who was brought to court by his son Cyril, told reporters he had been through months of hell. My health, physically and mentally, has deteriorated, and I have endured countless nights with little to no sleep. All his shows were canceled because of the case. And see, I have said this many, 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 many times. You don't need the court to find you guilty. All you need is the accusation, and the feminists and the women will run with it from there, calling you a pig and saying this is why we need to trust women and this is why we need to believe all of them, no matter what. And they'll get you canceled from your shows. They'll get you canceled off social media. They'll get your life ruined. And then the court finds you innocent or guilty. And when they find you innocent, does that mean you get to go back to your gigs? Do you have to walk around with your court papers? It's now guilty until proven innocent. And if you don't believe it, I mean, just probably look at all the stories that were done on this guy. If you don't believe it, look at the stories that were done on Kyle Rittenhouse before he even went to court. And it doesn't matter how you feel about Kyle Rittenhouse. Doesn't matter. The media went with the direction they wanted to go before the court even made up its mind. And then once the court made up its mind, people still run on with the same narrative they want to talk about. Well, that's what's happening with these guys. You have to come up and you have to come with receipts. If you don't come with receipts, you're going to be in trouble. The veteran comedian who grew up in the Liberties but has an address at Wellington Lawn in Dublin gave a statement to reporters. I am delighted that I have been completely exonerated of all charges by the court. The state concluded calling prosecution evidence in February. The case was also delayed as a result of the bug. The defense did not call any witnesses. Didn't need to. They had the videotape. So what happened basically, let me see if I can find the story. The woman, a conflict of evidence in the evidence complaint on the CCTV, the woman made a specific allegation that Fox had put his left hand on her groin, on the punene, and tickled her vagin for 30 seconds as the photo was taken. She said that he took his hand, put it on the vag for 30 seconds as the photo was taken. In court, she had denied telling the investigation Garda that it took a second or split seconds, which was noted in her statement of complaint. She smiled in the photo, the judge noticed. The evidence was shown to her and still maintained that he had taken advantage of her. She had accepted the footage showed... Let me say this again. She had accepted the footage showed his hand on the table the entire time it took for the photo to be taken. Syl went up, took a photo with her, and they don't have a picture of the photo. But the way this reads, it sounds like maybe he had one arm out, and maybe she was on this side, we'll say. He had one arm out, and the other hand was on the table somewhere. Or maybe this hand wasn't visible. But either way, nothing was close to the garden, to her Garden of Eden. Nothing was close to the punani, the punene. And the CCTV footage showed it. They say the only time his hand was not visible was for the 3 seconds after the photo was taken, not 30 seconds. And again, that may have been him like removing his hand behind someone's back, or maybe he was turning to put his hand down on something to stand up. The complainant was unable to explain this inconsistency and redacted her evidence that his cuff may have been on the edge of the table. Quality footage. And the reason why I read these stories, guys, again, the odds of this happening to you are very slim. But how many of these stories do I read? How many stories? My husband did this. I broke up with my husband because of this. I cheated on my boyfriend because of this. I'm in a poly relationship because of this. Men gets accused of, falsely accused of, removed from jail. When you add up all the little pebbles, the little tiny stones of stories that I do. I've been doing this for 2.5 years now. Many days I do 2 videos a day. And that means that I've probably done 700, 800, 900 stories of this stuff. And that's just what I find in the paper. That's just what I find in these threads. You know this happens. These are the ones that happen to, if someone has the huevos, if someone has the cojones to have someone like Fox come take a picture with her, if she has the audacity of blaming a star of doing this, even when it was pretty clear he didn't. I mean, he definitely didn't do it, but it was clear he came nowhere close to it. What are the odds that a woman would claim that just some no-name or somebody that's pestering her, or she doesn't like the looks of, or he's being a little bit annoying, what are the odds that she would do that just to get him to go away, just to punish him? Asius says, you always ask for and keep receipts. Thank you for the $100. Thank you for the $100, my friend. Yeah. Get receipts. Get receipts. And what are those receipts? They're the hover hand. They're the going on the first and second and maybe third date while you're trying to vet a woman for her red flags. They're going to a coffee shop. I mean, most of these places have security cameras. They're going to a coffee shop. And again, people think that men are going kind of crazy. Now, I'm not one that says, hey, you need to wear a body cam, have hidden cameras in your house and in your car, and because a lot of places you cannot record without everybody knowing you're recording. But that's why you also don't yeet back to your apartment to try to go get a quickie. You go on a couple of dates, and you vet for red flags. This is why, again, going back here, why is Gen Z changing the way that they date? Why is Gen Z changing the way they date? Venticus Prime, if I'm saying that right. Avalanches are really 1,000 tiny snowballs. $2 donation. Thank you, sir. Yeah, avalanches are really 1,000 tiny snowballs. So Gen Z, and this is, again, why I have faith that the younger millennials, the Gen Z, many people that are maybe in the Gen Xers are starting to come around and learning. They're saying, you know what, this is a raw deal. I don't like the way this is turning out. The only thing that basically saved Fox says the judge said the court had the benefit of reasonably good quality CCTV footage. It also showed Fox leaving at a leisurely place, not skulking away, as the complainant had described. So she said, oh, he did this and then he skulked away because he knew he was wrong. But he just calmly walked away, not skulking away. She lied. In the footage, there was no indication that something untoward occurred, and there was no indication the complainant was upset or distressed. It showed her touching him in a good-natured, pleasant gesture, and he moved away, the judge said. The woman showed no emotion as the case was dismissed. She just lied. She just lied. So it's not so much, I mean, yes, Keanu Reeves is smart about the hover hand. But here they're saying, like, how do we get rid of this? How do we fix this? Look, if you know the girl, and she's a friend, she's somebody you've been out on a date with, somebody takes a group photo, just say, hey, is it cool if I throw my arm behind your back? She says yes. And here's the neat thing. If this is a group photo or something else, say it so other people hear it. Now, don't yell it. Don't be awkward and weird. Just say, hey, is it cool if I throw my hands behind your back? Cool. Boom. Or I throw my arms around your shoulder? Boom. Hover hands, done. If you're at one of these events, I know you guys like to go to some of these conventions. I've never been to a gamer or a cosplay convention. I'd like to go, but I don't dress up. I'd be the weird, average-looking dude that's like, hey, how you doing? Good outfit. So I've never gone to one. But I think it'd be fun. If you're that guy, just ask the performer that's in her little outfit, hey, is it cool if I throw my arm around your shoulder? And you don't even have to say, or would that make you feel uncomfortable? Just ask, is it cool if I throw my arm around your shoulder? If they say, yeah, go ahead. Boom, boom. Land it. Keep it high. Don't be scooping down for a little bit of the nippy bob action. Keep it high. Enjoy your picture. And if they say, no, that'd make me a little uncomfortable, be like, okay, cool. Boom. Hover arms straight out like a and then you can crop it. You know what I'm saying? Like crop it to where your arm from her right side, just crop it and have a big old smile on your face. But when people try to shame you, when people try to get down on you for trying to protect yourself, don't let it happen. Don't let it happen. Don't let it happen. Keep yourself protected, guys. Keep yourself protected. Alrighty, real quick from Paul Dainton. Thank you for what you do, Joker. You help. Cheers from New Zealand. Thank you very much, sir. This is what it's all about. It's what it's all about. And let's see. And Pelagic 6. I hope I know I'm butchering these. I'm sorry, kids. Guys. Man, I'm really getting old when I'm calling people 5 years younger than myself. Thanks, kids. Sorry. $200. Thank you, sir. Let me get a couple of rings in. I need if I'm going to live stream more often, I need to get a big, loud one. He says, Merry Christmas. I've been following you for nearly a year and throughout my divorce. Thanks for your time and the entertainment encouraging material. You are welcome. Look, we all get, I've been through a divorce. We all get on the dark side. And you know what's crazy to me? Society tries to make it feel like you're the only one that's an idiot. Because if a young guy came across this article, hover hand, why do awkward guys do it and how do we fix it for good? Oh my gosh, I must be an awkward person. No, you're being a smart person. Let me see what they say about how do we fix it. And then we're going to do another dating profile. I got another dating profile for you. Let's see. What do they say? How do we fix it? Oh, wait, here's the rationalization for the ladies. You ready? He's not feeling comfortable around the girl. She's too sexy for him.
Oh, wait, you serious?
Yeah, she's too sexy for him. Okay, that's it. Sure. So are you going to tell me that the women are too sexy for Will Smith and Keanu Reeves?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so, sir.
He's too respectful of the girl. Is it being too respectful or is it just being respectful? Here's more likely what it is. He's too afraid to touch the girl he's getting snapped with. He may be definitely intimidated by her. That's true. That's definitely true. And he's respectful of the girl. I think those are the combinations. Even Will Smith said, hey, you got to be respectful. And in this one, yes, he's too afraid to touch the girl he's getting snapped with. Keanu Reeves is not only being respectful, but he's afraid of touching him and getting called something. And yeah, maybe there is some maybe there is some intimidation by her. Hey, guys, there are guys, especially a lot of guys that are into, and I'm not saying all guys, so bear with me with this, okay? I'm not castigating all of you into this same well. There are guys that are into video games, and so most of their friends are online people. Maybe a couple of buddies at school, but they don't go out with girls. They don't get a lot of interaction with girls, especially on dates. There are guys that are into gaming or that are into sports that they're more focused on guy friends and hobbies, and they never really broke the barrier of getting comfortable around women. So yeah, that can definitely happen. He's scared she'll nudge his hand away or give him a dirty stare for touching her. Very much so. Very much so. And again, you can get in trouble if you weren't prepared for that. He wants to make a nice good boy impression of the girl by keeping his hands away. Maybe. He thinks she has a boyfriend who might get jealous. Again, showing respect. The girl may be dating his friend, and the friend might get jealous. Sure. His own friend may be around, and his girlfriend might get jealous. True. He thinks he's brave and cool, but realizes he's not when he has to place his arm over her. I doubt it. If a guy's really thinks he's brave and cool, then he's going to probably go too far with it. He thinks he'll touch her bobs if his hands get any closer. I don't know about that one. If he's smart, maybe he'll be trying to make I'm kidding. Don't really do that. You'll get in trouble. He's way too excited and perverted in his mind. Touching with her with his arm in confidence is akin to tweaking her nips. Yeah, no.
Holy Jesus. What the fuck is that?
Nope. I don't know what that is. He assumes the girl doesn't want him to touch her, which can be true. Right here, guys, listen to this. He assumes the girl doesn't want him to touch her, which can be true at most times. The guy assumes the girl doesn't want to touch her, which can be true at most times. So if that's true, why in the F would a guy not hover? Why would the guy not look out for himself? Then I'm trying to read down through here to see if they have any good reason, which really they don't. Well, I mean, veteran Sil Fox definitely shows you why you need to be careful of that stuff, let me tell you. Now it's time to do a dating profile of the day again. Alrighty then. I got a couple of dating profiles we'll be doing throughout here. I'll just break it up a little bit. Once again, if you're just joining us a little bit later, if you haven't been here the whole time, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Feliz Navidad, Happy Hanukkah. I don't know of any other Happy Festivus for the rest of us, whatever works for you. This gal is 28 years old. 28 years old. She's a stay-at-home mom, staying home with my beach high school 2011. I don't know what that means. Now, guys, let's picture yourself as a 28-year-old woman or a 28-year-old man, and you read this profile. You're a 28-year-old man, and you read this profile. Gentlemen, I have 5 kids. Do you remember in, what was the movie there? Had Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he was on Mars. What was the name of that movie? Why am I having such a hard time? You guys will remember it in the chat. It was Arnold Schwarzenegger on Mars, and the guy that was driving the taxi, you know, and he's at the end of it, when he unfolded and he's really a mutant, and he brings out his arm like that. And he said, "Hey, man, I'm just trying to make money. I got 5 kids." You guys will know that movie. Total Recall. Thank you. Total Recall. This gal's 28 years old, and she's got, "Man, I just got 5 kids. I have 5 kids and would like more by IVF process. And I am a photographer," which means she doesn't make any money. I mean, she probably does, but not much. Not much. Because she's got to stay home and take care of 5 kids. She says she's a stay-at-home mom taking care of 5 kids, but she's a photographer. Do you think she makes any money in photography? Of course not. So she has 5 kids, and I'm not going to hit the cash button 5 times because we'd be here all day. She wants more with IVF, in vitro fertilization. She's a photographer, which means she doesn't make much money because she's always at home being a stay-at-home mom. She says, I want to be happy again. Let's stop the music. Listen to this, guys. Seriously. This is the problem. This is the problem that's happening. People are not happy with who they are. People are not happy in their own skin. People are not happy with life. She's not happy. Because she says, I have been through the ringer a lot. I just want to be able to be happy again. How do you have 5 children by the age of 28 and you're not happy? So adding more children to that will make you happy?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I don't think so, sir.
I know I'm using that button an awful lot today, but there's a lot to disagree with here. So now she thinks adding more children will make her happier when she's already got 5. And then she says, quote, I've been through the ringer a lot. I just want to find Mr. Right who is willing to hang out. I'm looking for a relationship. I have Facebook and Snapchat. If you can make me message, or if you can make me happy, message me.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
That's not how this works. That's not how this works. Single mother of 5 who wants more children and wants a man to make her happy. Okay, maybe during child number 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. Maybe during the creation of those 5 kids. Maybe you could have slowed down a little bit, kept the legs shut, and figured out if that was the right guy that was going to stick around and make you happy. I do not feel sorry for somebody that doesn't slow down and pay attention and fix things, and they just baby factory, thinking that's going to make them happy. You're never, ever, ever going to, and again, she's,
Was she a great big fat person?
I mean, she's a little bit bigger, and let's face it, after 5 kids, you're going to be. Do you really think there's going to be a 28 to 35, 38-year-old guy that's like, man, I can't wait to have 5 kids that aren't mine plus more. And why does she need IVF? I have a feeling that maybe, I don't know, after 5 kids, maybe something fell out.
How dare you?
Just saying. Just saying. And these kids aren't going to respect the guy.
I'm not going to call him Dad. Ever.
They're not going to respect that guy. So that any guy that dates her is going to walk into this relationship in 9th place. You got her and a kid 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 and a dog. And you know that a woman like this has a parakeet. Women like this always have parakeets. I don't know why. They've always got a parakeet. And then you. I don't know why. They always have parakeets. Always. Weird. Let me make sure I'm staying up on Super Chats. Let's see. Lord Sveth. X-Theth. You just want me to spit on my microphone, don't you? Lord's theft. $10. Giving what I can. Thank you for your good work. My pleasure. Thank you for the $10. Canadian, I believe, which is like $6 US. I'm just teasing you, man. You poor Canadians. We're going to be, the Canadian dollar is going to be worth more than the American is, as much as we're printing it right now. Thank you, my friend. All right, let's, next story. This one's kind of a pretty big loss. This one's a pretty big loss. Guys, don't forget to smash the like button. Let's make sure that lots of likes so we can get more people finding out that I'm doing this craziness on Christmas Day. My 1 yearly stream. And maybe I'll do it more often, I don't know. I do them almost twice a week over on Locals, or at least once a week over on Locals. So if you like live streams, you can go over there. And again, just got to be a supporter. A man recovers $450,000 from a $7 million paternity fraud, and the news thinks this is somehow a win. What I don't like about this story is that I did the original story, and if you guys have been watching my channel for a while, you'll remember it. This is when I want to say he was his CEO or somebody that ran a company in Australia. I think it was Australia. And he had some sort of, maybe it was a disease or a condition that made him sterile all his life, but he didn't know it. And so he had 3 children with this woman, and then he got tested, and they said, no, you're sterile. And he's like, how long have I been sterile? And they're like, you've been sterile forever. He's like, yeah, but I got 3 kids. And they were like, hold up.
Wait a minute.
He said, wait a minute, something's not right. Dan C., Merry Christmas, 20 pounds. Thank you, sir. They said, wait a minute, something's not right here. Something's not right. How do I have 3 children if I've been sterile all my life? Listen to this. So again, I did this original story, but this is why I am for 100. Listen, 100% of the time DNA tests on every child that is born to match it with the father. 100%. 100%. Always. Always. Because the women know, the guys don't. And there is legislation in France. There's legislation here in a couple states of the United States, and I'm sure there's other legislation out there that actually makes it illegal to do a paternity test unless it's been court-ordered. I disagree with that. We got 100% make it for every case. Just do it, just as a course of nature. You had a child, congratulations. We're going to do it for everybody, because then you're not just shaming a woman. You're not saying, well, your husband's requested a paternity test, and she's like, oh my gosh, why me? Nope, do it for everybody, every single one, period, end of statement. T-King 677, $50 from Canada. Thank you, sir. Hey, man, I don't have locals, but I do want to give you a bit to support you and wish you a Merry Christmas. Take care, buddy. Thank you very much. You can, again, betterbachelor.locals.com. I'm pretty sure you can go to that website from anywhere. So if you do want to support, like what you just donated right now, my friend, would give you a year of my content over there, ad-free. And you get the forums where you can BS. 6-pound bass fisherman says, yo, thanks for holding it down for Latinos with Undead Chronic. 55% Lats in VA voted for Youngkin. Yeah, I'm telling you, the people that are promising everything and delivering nothing, people are catching on to that. People are catching on to that. So this dad, now listen to the title of this. Listen to the title of this. This is such BS. Dad wins $447,000 payout after wife lied about paternity of their 3 kids. Listen to that again. Dad wins $447,000 payout after his wife lied about paternity of their 3 kids. So this is a win for the guy, right? This is a win for the man. He just got almost $500,000 payout after the wife lied about their kids. So this should be a good story, right? Heartfelt, warm. A man has successfully sued his ex-wife after discovering she'd lied to him for more than 2 decades, but the cost of the truth has proved bigger than his bank balance. Let me read these coming in before they go away. Super chats real quick. Dylan. Joker, I'm 35, no kids, never married. Channels like yours help me reinforce my conviction that I'm on the right path. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, thank you. Exactly. No cohabitation, no marriage, nothing that can get you tied up with the law. And I never say, like, don't date, don't go monk. Nope, just date, vet for red flags. If you're going to do it, be careful. Jack Savvy says, I've thoroughly enjoyed your channel and outlook you've shared. I wish you and your family a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year with blessings for 2022. Thank you very much, sir. At the end of the stream, I'll give you guys an update on my father's situation. Those of you who have been following me for an extended period of time know my dad's got some health issues. I'll give you guys an update before we wrap things up. Darren Forsyth, 10 pounds, says, thank you for all you do, good sir. I love your content and the way you keep it real and honest. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Zima Duvant, $5 says, I want to thank you. You're the first Red Pill content creator I found in August of last year. You've been working out and stacking crypto. You changed my life. Oh, I have been, sorry. I, as Zima, have been working out and stacking crypto. You changed my life. Good man, good man. And that's why I try to keep it clean and relatively PG-13, PG-17, whatever, so that people can find Red Pill content and then from there maybe wake their way into the Red Pill world. And Antal Toth says, Merry Christmas and thanks for all the efforts. And that's, I don't know what HUF is, what currency that is, but 5,000 of it. So thank you, sir. So if you listen to the title of this, the dad sounds like he's winning $500,000 after suing his wife for lying about the paternity of their 3 kids. Now imagine that you're a dad to 3 children and you've raised them from the time they were babies and you thought they were yours and you raised them into being young men, teenagers, young men, and you've loved them. And then at the end of it, you find out they're not biologically your children. Now, for most of us men, like I was adopted, so I understand my parents can love me and I'm not part of their blood. I know a lot of men would say, you know something, I still love them. I still love them as much as they're mine. And I still care about them and they're still my boys. But to know for the last 20 years your wife pulled this on you, pulled this fast one on you, and what a lot of people don't realize, to some people, the infidelity is part of it. The infidelity and having your wife cheat on you and lie to you, that is devastating. But for other people, especially if you're conservative, especially if you're very religious, especially if you have a low tolerance factor for ew, the idea that your wife was going out and getting pumped and dumped by another man while you were still sleeping with her, thinking that she was yours and she's your love and she's your partner and she's your spouse. And in the meantime, she's getting the hot beef injection from some other dude. The level of grossness and I can't even think of a good word for it. The level of just, I mean, there's no words for it. You can't put it on a level. And the fact that this goes back in time for some people 20 years, the devastation is just unbelievable. Hungarian for it. Thank you for the 5,000 Hungarian for it. John Haig, $4.99. Thank you for your content. Thank you, sir. And Feral Android. Feral Android. I know you're a local supporter. I see your stuff over there all the time. Feral Android says, I'm a local supporter, but here's a little extra for the holidays. Enjoy some Bozeman microbrew. And Mele Kalikima from Aloha Land. Yeah, Feral, I see you posting all the time. I see you posting all the time over on Locals, so I appreciate that, brother. So they say a dad has been awarded $447,000 from his ex-wife after discovering he'd been tricked into raising 3 children he couldn't possibly have fathered as he was infertile. Richard Mason, 55, realized his ex-wife, Kate Mason, had lied about the paternity of their 3 kids for 21 years when doctors diagnosed him with cystic fibrosis in 2016, revealing he couldn't father children naturally. As a result, the horrified dad successfully launched a paternity fraud case to win back some of his $7 million he had paid during their divorce. But as a result, he's heartbreakingly lost contact with 2 of his kids. All right, hold on just a second here, fellas. Hey, I need to make a moderator for my channel. You keep spamming that crap, I'm going to have to kick you out of here, obviously, because you're being an idiot. See, this is why I don't deal with this stuff, because I'm not very good at, and this is all done through I have this all being done through my browser, so I don't have a quick way to do this. But as always, we have the children in the room. So now you're going to make me have to stop my stream and deal with the little children. Like a 4-year-old. You're not hurting anybody's feelings, so just so you know, pause my own stream here. If things get a little choppy, just bear with me. I'll get this. I'll get this. I have to just go in here through YouTube. And boom. And boom. See ya. Thanks for playing along. Bye-bye now. Sorry, I'm not actually in my browser. I'm using this through my I'll for if I do these streams more often, I'll set somebody as a moderator. No problems there, guys. I don't stream very often, so I don't have a mod, and it just takes me a couple minutes. But the children, hey guys, are you ready? Everybody in here is an incel in denial. Well, wow. Let's take a moment. Let's reflect on this devastating insult that we've never heard before. I'll say this to anybody that wants to come in here and try to spam that stuff.
You need many years of therapy. Many, many, many years of therapy. And I bullshit you not.
You ain't making a difference in this house. Be gone. So here's the thing, guys. So Richard Mason, right? Richard Mason, 55. He realizes, he finds out that his ex for 21 years basically lied to him, and he ended up having other people's kids. And they say, as a result, the horrified dad successfully launched a paternity fraud case to win back some of the $7 million he had paid her during their divorce. So she lies. She says they're his kids, or, she never has to say anything because he thought that it was his kids. They get divorced. He pays her $7 million in child support, and for their divorce, he pays her $7 million. He's paying for kids that aren't his, and he gets back $450,000 of $7 million because he had to sue her to get some of it back. And this is the part that bothered me. Look, Dad wins. He wins a $500,000 payout. I would like to start cursing right now, but I keep it clean. But mother effer, do you really think him recovering $500,000 of $7 million he paid to her is getting a payout? Is a win? What are you smoking? The guy says, you don't know what's real and what isn't. It's as if I'm living in the Matrix, he told the Mail on Sunday. Yeah, talk about shattering your world. Talk about shattering your world, man. The Inspired One says, the lead attorney can recommend a well-known mod that is used throughout the manosphere to block the trolls. Thank you for all you do. Thank you, Inspired One, $9.99. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, again, if I live stream, maybe I'll set a moderator or somebody to help me with this. This is the first stream I've done in like 18 months, I think. At least here on YouTube. They say someone says to you, all you know and everything you thought solid and true is not real and never did exist. You are not a father. You are not able to have kids. Your name will not continue. So not only did this guy think, okay, now we got someone else spamming in here. Okay, you know what? Let me just do this. Let me just, I'm going to set somebody as a temporary moderator because the children want to come in and play. And the funny thing is that I don't know if they think they're actually hurting somebody's feelings or, hey, Feral Android, you want to, I know you're over on my locals page and I've talked to you a lot of times, so, Do you want to maybe do some moderation for me, and then next time I'll do a moderator thing? The children are out to play. Vish, I see you there, Vish. I'll make you a mod. Just because I see it right now. There you go, brother. I don't know if I need to change permissions or not for moderators, so. Yeah, I just threw it. I know Vish is over on my locals, and I didn't see Feral Android reply there, so I could catch his name. But either way, okay, there's Feral. There you are, Feral. I'll mark you guys. I know you guys are over on my. I know you guys. The only reason I'm saying that's because I know you guys are over on locals, and I'm familiar with you, so I know you're not a spammer that is saying I'll be. I'll moderate for you, and it turns out that it's a spammer that. Let's see. Bunker Housing SEK 50 says, "Do not read this." Okay, I will not. I promise I will not read that. And let me make sure I have that on live chat. Okay. All right, thanks for moderating. We the little kids want to come out and play. All-Star Space says, Merry Christmas from Munich, Germany. You are doing a fantastic job. Love your content. Whatever you do, do not stop. It says Jens. Will not stop. No, I'm here for you guys. All right, so. Oh, and pimped out geese. Pimped out geese. Some of you are very creative in the way you're spelling this, so I start out with pimped out geese. Pimped out geese. $5. Always enjoy your content. I can recall your bus adventures or misadventures. Anyway, I appreciate you and the message you provide. Always. There'll be more bus misadventures. Trust me on that. And again, don't forget to, if you're not, I do have Better Bachelor B-sides. That's where I'm going to be doing like movie reviews. I'll be doing like various non-Manosphere related things over there. So if you like the content. So imagine, guys, being at the end of your divorce, you've paid out $7 million. At the end of your divorce, or by the end of your divorce, you paid out $7 million, and you find out that the kids aren't yours, and you find out you biologically will never have any of your own children, and you find out that your name is not going to carry on in this world, and you find out that your genetic line ends with you. You find that all basically out at the same point, and you spent $7 million just to recover $500,000 of it, and the news calls it a payout for you. This guy, I mean, damn, son, damn. But if we did paternity tests at the moment the child was born, this would have never happened. He would have been able to get divorced without the payout. She just got cash and prizes for cheating on the guy. Would have never happened. That's why I think a paternity test should be mandatory for every child born on this planet for everyone. Man, you all challenged me with his names. Tish Cantinel. Tish Cantinel. 20-year-old. Since the other guy from Munich donated, might as well go along. Thanks for the great content. Appreciate it. Well, hey, man, thank you very much. Okay, so they're setting up the rules. So apparently we've had euros, Canadian dollars, American dollars, pounds. That's been donated. So they're setting up the rules. So what are you saying is that everybody has to play along now. So if you're here, you got to play along. From Sergeant Sass, SGTSAS, 19-year-old. Thank you very much, sir. And let's see. So I still see what the boys are doing on Facebook, and it's heart-wrenching. It's all been taken away from me, he says. So, again, you've got somebody here that he sees the kids, he's raised the kids, he loves the kids. They're not his kids. And I don't know how. I've always known I wasn't my parents' kids. Like I've always known I was adopted, but to find out that it's not my real dad and my biological dad, That's heart-wrenching. What a sad story. And he says, after making the startling discovery, the man sent frantic texts to his ex-wife begging for advice as to how to tell the boys after being told it was 98% certain he couldn't have fathered a single child, let alone 3. His wife initially said, of course the boys are yours, no matter what the science might suggest. Just believe the science, guys. Just believe the science. Of course the boys are yours, no matter what the science might suggest, but later confessed to the betrayal when confronted by her eldest son, revealing she had an on-off affair during their 20-year marriage. Here's the Harpy, the homewrecker. The Jimmy ZTT says, I started out involuntary, but given the past few years, it's become mandatory. Merry Christmas, everyone. Become greater in 2022. I'm guessing you mean you were involuntarily celibate, and now it's like by choice. I don't blame you there, brother. I do not blame you there. It's getting pretty crazy out there. Riff Magos, $5. Hail, Better Bachelor. I've always enjoyed your videos. 13-year monk here. You can't buy the peace and quiet, and the 15 guitars are nice too. I'm telling you, you can have some really great hobbies. Really great hobbies with kids in your life without the women requiring you to buy them things. Sean Hensley says the only reason to have kids is to pass on an estate, in which case consider surrogacy. Yep. Or consider a small town something in Poland is still pretty conservative. The Ukraine. And I'm not saying like all of them, but there are small towns that are outside of the big cities and the craziness. Southeast Asia is a go-to for a lot of guys, for expats. Daniel Haro says, Merry Christmas. Have been watching for around 2 years. Thank you very much, sir. Glad to have you on board. Guys, I'm going to put up a poll after this video. Since I've got, how many do we have watching right now? We got about 2,000 of you here, pretty close to. Make sure to hit the like and sub button if you haven't, and make sure you're still subbed. I'm going to put a poll. We need to find... Undead Chronic had a really good idea. He calls his members the War Band. I need to have a fun name for all of you. Coach Greg Adams has the, what's Coach call him? Coach Greg Adams calls his group, let me see. What does Coach call them? I know he calls them something. Coach Greg Adams calls them, oh, you guys will know. You guys will know. Anyway, the Coach Gang. That's it. The Coach Gang. I'm going to put up a poll. We got to come up with a good one. So what I'm going to do, I got a piece of paper right here. If any of you guys want to do the minimum super chat, which I think is like $2 or something like that. If any of you guys want to do a minimum super chat, come up with of what you think would be a good idea for calling our group of followers, my group of followers. I'm thinking Droogs. If you've watched the old the movie Clockwork Orange, they called them Droogs. So that's probably where I would go with that one. So let me know what you guys think. A horse with no name sends a 50. Hey man, I'm from Poland, and the strong independent type is getting out of control. Though the knowledge spreads, so I have high hopes. Keep up the good work. How is it in the smaller areas, like the less populous areas? When I was in Poland, I went to Krakow and a couple of other cities, and it seemed in the smaller towns like it still seemed kind of good, like villages were normal and things like that. Let me catch up on Ramerator says, thanks, man. Keep up the good work. $10. Thank you, sir. Good job, and thank you guys. You're doing a good job of keeping the idiots out. I appreciate that. I see them pop up every once in a while. Joker's short bus boys. I'll write it down and put it in the poll. Anything you guys send me right now, short bus boys. I don't know. That makes us sound like a bunch of idiots. That's certainly true. Someone else says, Deadly Raver says, here's my idea. Since you call yourself Joker, why not call us the Stacked Deck? I like that one. I'll put that one down as well. Always keep the Jokers in the deck, man. Let's see what else. Frank Rizzo, Bro Chacho, cools dudes that like to keep it casual. All right, Bro Chacho. I'll put that one down. And let's see, Morbo Annihilator sending $2. Thank you. And Niall Schroeder, Bachelor's in Denial. I'll write that one down as well. And if I get too many, that I can't put in one poll, I'll put them in a couple of different polls, and then we'll take the best of the best and have a runoff. So, you know, the deal with this guy is where and why I talk about this stuff so much is that you have to, Bachelor Boys, thank you, 6 pound fisherman, Bachelor Boys. The reason why I want to talk about this stuff is because you guys need to know, man, it's so easy. The Brotherhood. I like that one, Brotherhood. It is so easy to get sucked up into this and get yourself. This guy lost $7 million paying for a wife cheating on him with kids that weren't his. That's why so many times I say that you got to be careful out there. You can't just believe him. And this guy thought he had a loving, doting wife that was his everything. And in the meantime, I mean, she was getting deposits made by some other dude and had 3 other kids. So the other guy's got 3 biological kids, and he didn't even have to pay for them. Unbelievable. Let me get through some more super chats that are coming in. I want to make sure I get all the poll stuff down. Sergeant Sass says, thank you for your work, Joker. I am a supporter over at Locals. You guys helped me out during my ongoing divorce when I was in a dark place. Greetings from Mallorca, Spain. Thank you, sir, for the €20. Call us jokesters, jesters, clowns. I don't know. I'll put the maybe jokers, jesters, the jesters, or I don't think any man wants to be called a clown, but you could be a jester, I suppose. Let's see what other ones we have here. Let me catch up on this. Let's see what else we've got. Confirmed bachelors. That's actually what I used to call people on my donation page on Patreon. I called everybody the confirmed bachelors. I'll take the best out of these and put them in a poll. Let's see. Please make merch. I want a T-shirt. I don't know what I'd put. I don't know what I'd put. Something maybe like I'm a joker and everything's just a joke to me or something like that. I don't know. The Better Bachelor Bureau, the BBB. Let me write this down well enough I know what I'm talking about later on. Let's see. Wonky donkeys. I don't know how far that one will make it, but I like it. Wonky donkeys. Man. Thank you, Tony, for the 2. Jesticles. No, you guys do not want to have anything related to my testicles. Jesticles. All right, let's see what else I got here to go over there. Okay. And that because of the last story here, we'll talk about this one, and this will be the last story I do today. This will be the last one I do today because this is kind of fitting. The dream of having a traditional family is finally at an end. If you look at how many people are wanting the traditional family, wanting the good life, wanting children, wanting it all. The dream of having a traditional family is just finally at an end. And I truly am starting to believe that. Only 18% of U.S. households are now nuclear families. And we know it's getting closer to that all over the world. I'm writing down these. Antanas, Joker's Goons. Thank you, Automile. Dan C. says, I get girls chatting me up every time I go to the pub. I choose to resist relationships with the girls because of my experiences of bossy women. I don't say it to sound big. I say it to dispel this BS incel narrative. Oh, yeah, the spammers are going to come in and call you incels, of course. But The Bachelor Ascending. I got it, Red Pill Pusher. Thank you. Bachelor's Ascending. They're gonna come in and call people incels, but the truth of it is a very large majority of us are not actually. Because incel is involuntarily celibate, and most of us, at least that I know, are either voluntarily. Many guys are still dating. Many guys are still getting laid, getting paid, and getting laid. They're just not getting married anymore. So again, it's a very easy way. And if I pause for a second, it's because I'm writing suggestions down here. It's a very easy way to try to hurt our feelings. The thing is, we're bulletproof. Like, that stuff doesn't hurt anymore. That stuff doesn't bother us. We know what time it is. They're just trying to stick us with needles to hurt our feelings. Columbia has a 30% dadless household rate. It spreads. Yep. Nathaniel Rodriguez, the wild cards. I like that one. I'll write that down. I'm writing them all down, by the way. So 18% of households are now nuclear families. So let's read this. If you and your siblings grew up in a stable two-parent household, within the last 30 years or so, you might have felt like the odd ones out at times among classmates and friends. Yeah, odd man out. Just like I do with my odd man out channel. Do I even have my odd man out button on here anymore? I don't think I do. Yeah, you're odd man out. No secret that the number of two-parent families has been steadily falling since the 1950s, when the term nuclear family was first coined and attributed to a prosperous post-war baby boom. But now those households are becoming increasingly rare. The U.S. Census Bureau found this year, in fact, the rate of two-parent households in the U.S. is lower than it's been since 1959, only 17.58%. Ram Raider, how about just the Better Bachelors, he says. Thank you for the $5. Better Bachelors, okay. And Josh Leonard, as a CF parent, I can tell you it sucks, and it's true you can't have kids and the fun. You can't have kids the fun and natural way. It also takes both parents to pass on diseases, as both parents have to have the gene to pass it on. I didn't know that, but with that one, both parents couldn't have the gene, because if it makes the man infertile, it couldn't be the father could not have the gene, or the father would be infertile, thus not having the children, right? So that must have been something that was passed on from the mother's side, I would assume, because if they're like, hey, I've got a disease that makes me infertile, oh, me too, and our kid's infertile, wait a minute. Both parents have to be fertile, so I'm not sure how that one works out. So they say here that 17.8%. So you guys that are like, hey, you know what? I want to have kids. I want to have a wife. I want to have a girlfriend. I want to have something traditional. I want something that's going to last forever. I want something that's, the house on the hill, the picket fence, the 2 dogs, the 2.5 kids. You've got a 17.8% chance of that occurring today. What's it going to be like in 3 years or 5 years? Let's say you met Mrs. Perfect today. You meet Mrs. Perfect today, and what happens? You have the kid, you get married, 3 years from now, you have the baby. Is that 17.8%? Is this 17.8% going to be the same in 3 years? Well, no, because it's going down. What about in 5 years? What about in 8 years? What about in 16 years? So it's 17% today, but is it going to be 13% in 5 years? With this message of feminism and everything else? I'm going to say right now you have less than 1 in 5 chance. It's about 1 in 6 chance. 1 in 6 chance to be a nuclear family. And you know that the BLM and the trans and all these other causes are firmly pushing against the traditional family, and they've even talked about it. They've even talked about it. So what do you do then? Super chat. Christopher Surdek says the John Galtz. All right, I got that one down. And Jack Savvy says Stag Brothers or Droog Stags. We'll do Stag Brothers. Because I'm going to go, my suggestion is just going to be the Droogs. And Bryce Friday says Joker's Rogues Gallery. So we'll call them the Rogues Gallery. So when you're only looking at roughly a 15%, probably in the next year or two, it'll be 15%. 15%. Do you really want to have kids? Do you really want to risk that? Do you really want the fact that you're going to have a 15% chance to keep a family? And here's the thing. Many of you will say, you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with doing it as a single dad. Okay. Are you still going to be able to see them? Are you still going to be able to spend time with them? You guys sending in the suggestions for everything. Ventitious Prime, $2. Joker's Gentleman, thank you. I'm gonna keep writing them down, guys. I'm just not gonna keep reading them out loud because I don't want to kind of keep interrupting the stream. But I'll write them down. Do you really want a 15% chance to see your kids? 15% chance to spend time with your kids? 15% chance of not spending child support? That's where you're going. And how are you going to be happy like that? If you say, hey, you know what? I'm willing to take that risk to have kids. I'm willing to take that risk. Okay, but even if so, what if she takes custody away from you? What if they turn out not to be your kids? What if she divorces you and not only do you not get to see your kids, but she decides to move across the country because she gets the majority of the child custody, and then you're paying child support to kids and a woman you're never going to see again. Ben Foster says, make a I'm shocked t-shirt and take my money. And Vishal Singh, badass bachelors or buff bachelors? I don't know. I don't think I can say buff bachelors because I'm not even a buff bachelor. I'm getting kind of soft around the middle. Well, we'll figure something out. So, I see one of you, Joker's non-binary crew. That's not happening. So, and Christopher Surdock says 85% chance the mom and the state will weaponize them against you. Believe us. Well, exactly. Exactly. That's the point. If you have a 15% chance of making it work, you have an 85% chance of making it not work. So you guys that are hanging in there, like, I understand it. I understand that you want the kids, but my God, good luck to you. They say, is the pandemic to blame? We know that the pandemic, apart from wreaking havoc on our economy and widening the already gaping political divide, has already had a deleterious effect on mental health. Feelings of hopelessness and despair, combined with imposed lockdowns and quarantine, have resulted in alarming increases in substance abuse and ODs, as well as an overspread development of serious conditions like depression, which is often left untreated but combated with drugs and alcohol. A recent survey of 1,008 individuals ages 18 to 35 published in the Journal of Psychoactive Drugs studied these effects and the proliferation of mental health disorders and substance abuse and a result of the pandemic. Right. So you've got people that, and I forget where I read this. But right now, between the ages of 18 and 54, more people are dying from taking too many drugs, overdoses, than they are from the bug. So more people are dying because of the stuff coming across the southern border, whether it's fentanyl or some of this other stuff. More people are dying from that, from the bug. Is there a world health crisis over that? No. No, they just keep talking about the bug. They say young adults say the pandemic has delayed plans they may have previously had for their lives, like marriage and children. Yeah. So, of course, so what do we do about this? Well, you can't participate. B-Man the Champ says $10. Hey, Joker, hope you're having a Merry Christmas. Quick question. Most of my friends are blue-pilled, and I've tried to educate them, but to no avail. Should I keep trying or let them learn the hard way? Let them learn. Let them learn. Let them learn the hard way. You can't fix stupid. You know, parents learn this when they have children because parents are always trying to say, hey, learn from the mistakes I made, son. Learn from the mistakes I've made, daughter. Don't mess up how I did. And what do? I did it. My sister did it. My parents did it. They say, well, thank you for the advice, but I know what I'm doing. I'm smart. I'll figure it out myself. And then they go out and make the mistakes. You can't save your blue pill friends, and when they do screw it up, you can't go back to them and say, see, I told you. You can't do that. It won't work, and it'll just piss them off. You just kind of have to say, well, welcome to the club, man. You know, guys going their own way, we don't recruit. They just open the door and invite the new members. That's what you do. Just keep the door open when they want to talk about it. Talk about it. Send them to content that you like. But don't force it down their throats. Maybe they find out before they make too many mistakes. Maybe they find out after they make the mistake. But either way. Jesper KX says, Joker, thanks for helping me get over with my breakup. You're welcome. We all have them. We all have them to get over with. They all suck. Time heals all wounds or most wounds. Just give it time. Find things to distract yourself. Mickle IRS or Mike IRS says you can't fix stupid, but you can numb it with a 2x4. Well, you may get a little bit of trouble for that, but Mick Chilla says it's annoying that articles like this dance all around the issue but fail to observe that this is a result of a gynocentric society. Repeal the 19th Amendment. I'm having more and more trouble. I used to say, hey, you know what? Women have just as much right to vote as men do. But the problem with that is many women do not think with logic, do not think with data, do not think with statistics, they just think with the feels. This feels good to help people. This feels good to do this. This feels this feels good to do this for people. The problem is that that's a very quick way to get society to fall apart, is because it feels good. It's not working. Look how quickly we're heading off a cliff. I'll tell you right now. Kai VR, hey Joker, greetings from Germany. Finally able to show my support with a small donation. Have been watching you for some months now and love your calm and rational style and content. Single for 10 years now and happy. Excellent. Good on you, my friend. And glad to hear so. Glad to hear so. Let me make sure I'm not missing any other chats here before they drift away. And thank you guys again for all your awesome support. I really appreciate it. I'm going to make sure to read every one of these I can. Malara, before I welcome back guys to the Red Pill, I'm likely to say that was stupid, very stupid, but welcome back. Yeah, we all make mistakes. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to make mistakes. And that's why I'm always big on forgiveness. A lot of people don't understand why I'd still go to talk to content creators that I disagree with or that they did something I don't like. There's always a time for disagreement, or there's time for disagreement. There's time to maybe have an opportunity to have some forgiveness. People can change. I am way different than I was when I was 20 and 30 and 40. I'll probably be different when I'm 60. At 60, I'll be that old man on the corner lot. You kids, get off my lawn. Turn the hose on them. Like, we all change over time. That's why you have to be willing to have a dialogue and forgive people. And if your friends say, dude, that stuff is whack, or you don't know what you're talking about, and my girl really loves me because she's different.
And some, I assume, are good people.
Oh, she's different. You just don't know, man. She's a unicorn. She's different. You can say to him, "Hey, man, I think you're crazy. I think you're crazy, but all right, just when it goes bad, I'll be here for you," and then be there to support him. Someone my name says, "Hey, from some ladies, we're not all like you think. I would absolutely support appealing the 19th Amendment, FWIW, for what it's worth."
Everything woke turns to shit.
You, ma'am, I am a fan of you, ma'am. I appreciate that. Yeah, they're voting and they're thinking with their fifis. It's all about the feelings. It's not working out well. You just got to look at society for that. And logically, I think everybody should have the right to vote. But there seems to be a lot more people today that are not using logic, that are using feeling. Oh, I wish everybody had everything for free. I wish it was all about the feelings, and it's love, and it's caring, and it's flowers. Doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that. All you have to do is look at the craziness going on right now. So, yeah, when your friends goof up, when they get voted off the island, when they find out their kids cheated on them and everything else, or their wives cheated on them and their kids are not theirs, when they find out their girlfriends did some goofed up stuff or cheated on them, welcome them back into the fold. Well, because again, you can't force the red pill. It's a choice. Remember, Morpheus said, choose the blue pill, stay in the life that you already know, stay comfortable, or take the red pill and find out the truth and follow well, it was a choice. Morpheus did not tackle Neo and start shoving a pill in his mouth and waterboarding him and drowning him so he had to swallow it. He just offered it. All we do is offer it. That's why I say you do you. You just offer it. Bryce Friday, have you considered doing an appearance on Grunt Speak with Terrence Popp? Yeah, Terrence Popp reached out to me at one point, but we never talked about doing something together. But I would like that. Yeah, I definitely, Terrence Popp and I probably have a lot in common. Let's keep reading on here. So, of the survey of participants, about the 17%. Oh, I almost skipped a paragraph here. Again, only 17% of families are now nuclear. They said of the survey participants, 65% answered that they have felt an increased sense of loneliness since the onset of the pandemic. 76 reported feeling anxiety, and similar numbers reported experiencing depression and a feeling of disconnectedness from others. Consequently, 30% of the participants reported harmful and dependent levels of drinking, including weekly binge drinking, and 38% said their drug use was severe. A different survey from a separate study found that 1 in 5 adults says their mental health has worsened in the past year, in addition to other sentiments like feeling of hopelessness, restlessness, the inability to concentrate or to be productive, and feeling like a plan for the future is inevitable.
You need many years of therapy. Many, many, many years of therapy. And I bullshit you not.
They need therapy. They're struggling. They're having a hard time here. And they're admitting it. Please make me happy. Please support me. Please love me. Please help me. Please. I need somebody in my life. I need to have babies. I need to get married. I need something. Again, if you're joining us late, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays. Thank you all very much for joining me. I just decided, hey, one bachelor is going to talk to a bunch of other bachelors that may not be around the family and are maybe doing their solo thing. And you know what? There's not a lot of content being published for Christmas Day. So once again, I thought I would jump on here. If you're a little late joining us since the last time I said that, welcome aboard. Merry Christmas to you guys and Happy Holidays. Love you all and appreciate the support. And while I think of it, make sure make sure to smash that like button and make sure we let a bunch of people know that we're having some fun in here. That's kind of key. That's legit. All right, moving on. Let's see. Let me read super chats. Make sure I don't miss anything. Simo, 20 pounds. Thanks for being you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you guys for being you. That's once you find yourself and you love yourself, man, life is easier. Trust me on that. So they say, so listen to this. Say you're out there dating, right? Say you're dating. 65% of people said they have increased sense of loneliness since the bug. Since the bug and the bug lockdowns, 65% say they have increased sense of loneliness. Well, there's two ways you can deal with that. Be okay with it. Find hobbies. Be secure in yourself. Find some stoicism. Find some hobbies. Find some friends. Be good on your own. Or if you can be the other part of that 65% that says, I'm so lonely, I need somebody. I'm going to settle for anyone. I'm going to hook up with anybody. I'm going to get desperate because I'm afraid of being alone. Don't be that guy. Because there are girls that are doing the same thing. And because they're lonely, they'll hook up with you just because you're someone to be with, someone to spend some time with. And then when they get in a better headspace, when they get attention from other people, when they get maybe a couple more friends, they dump you on the back burner. You're gone. 76 reported feeling anxiety. And I guess I can understand that. But you know what? If you feel anxiety, if you feel stressed out, if you're having problems with things, I got 3 letters for you. GYM. Hit that gym. Hit that gym. Put that energy into pushing weights around. Make sure you work out your legs. You never skip leg day. Leg day sucks. Twice a week, leg day. I know you like those biceps and those big chest, big shoulders, guys, but don't be walking around on chicken legs. Get those leg days in, squats, and get that nice thick bubble ass on you. Girls like that too. Get the gym. That'll help with the anxiety. If you don't like where your life is headed, guys, right now, because of the lockdowns and everything else going on, if you don't like where your life is headed, now is the time to change. There's a lot of industries that are struggling to hire people. Make that leap now. Make a leap to a new field. Make a leap to a higher paying position. Make a leap to maybe becoming an apprentice in something you really want to do. Make that leap. They say, and then again here, consequently, 30% of people reported harmful and dependent levels of drinking. So now remember this. They say of the survey participants, 30% of the participants were drinking way too much. Weekly binge drinking. 38% say they were using illicit substances, was severe. That's 1 out of 3, gang. That's 1 out of 3 people. So when you see on these dating profiles that I go over so much, when you see on these dating profiles, hey, you know what? They have going out for a drink, going out for wine, going out for this, going out for that. And they put that on their dating profile. Guys, they're not saying this is fun for them necessarily. They're not saying this is what I like to do. What they're saying is I need this. What they're saying is I have a problem with this. And if you get involved with somebody that has those problems, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle. That's why you vet for red flags. Don't take it. Well, if you go out for drinks, maybe if you go out for coffee on a date, maybe make that second date going out for drinks. See if they calmly sip on some wine or maybe sip on a whiskey or have a single drink of something. But if they're going 3 and 4 and 5 drinks deep in the first hour or 2 of your night, call it a day. You might be thinking, oh man, she's getting sloshed. This is going to be an easy, fun time at the house. Nah, you don't want to get blamed for doing something naughty. Don't do it. Just walk away from it. Big Dan in L.A. says, Merry Christmas, Joker. Thanks for all you do for us. I appreciate it. Thank you for paying attention. Thanks for joining me. And 6 Pound Bass Fisherman says again, different video topic, IT versus plumbing versus electric versus HVAC trades. You know what? You got to do what you love. That's all it boils down to. But you got to make a balance. When you're a young man, it's more important to do something for money and for knowledge. Go for something that's going to teach you something. Go for something that's going to pay you. Knowledge is most important when you're young, because from that knowledge comes the money. Then when you're young, you can work those 22 jobs. You can focus in. You can work harder. Get that money into an investment. Compound interest. If you're not sure what it is, look it up. Just talk about, right in the Google YouTube bar, investing when young, compound interest, or something along those lines. $200 in investment a month when you start when you're 18 and you do $200 a month for the rest of whenever till you want to retire. By the time 25 years later, that's worth what, 200, 300 grand probably, just that $200 a month compound interest. And there's a really good story. Maybe I'll do that as my final story for the day. We'll talk about compound interest, because that's really important. Then as you get older, you've got your money in that compound interest making money for you. Your investments are making money for you. Then you can do what you love for less money because your money is doing all the work for you. Warren Buffett once said, and it was kind of a brilliant savings, he said, if you have to work for your money, like if you have to show up to a job to make your money, you'll never be rich. It's when your money is making your money for you in investments, accruing interest, growing in crypto, whatever. That money is what's going to be the money that makes you rich. And it's true. So they say, let me read this last one before it skips away. Supreme Chancellor says, Happy Holidays, Joker. Thanks for the live stream. My pleasure, man. I'm glad you guys are here with me. It's always better to be in a room and watching idiot spammers trying to spam us and having fun conversations. And I thought I had turned on in the chat where you had to have a delayed. Let me make sure that I turn this on. I'm going to delay the chat just a little bit, if I can. Let me see if I can add some more time in there. I don't know if like I said, I never do live streams, so if I can't figure this out, that's on me. I'm an idiot. Maybe you moderators. I don't know if you moderators can figure that out. See if you can figure that out for me. That way they can't just spam. That maybe some, like, change the posting to every 30 seconds or 67 seconds or something like that so these spammers go away. They say here in a different survey from a separate study found that 1 in 5 adults say their mental health has worsened in the past year. So crazy people say their mental health has gotten even crazier. In other sentiments like feeling of hopelessness, restlessness, and the ability to concentrate or be productive and feeling like planning for the future is impossible. Guys, people that are struggling mentally now are going to continue to struggle. You have to be careful. You have to get away from these people. And these are the people that are on the dating apps. These are the people shaming you. These are the people coming into our chat and spamming. They're the bunch of losers. They got nothing better going on in their lives. They want everybody to be as miserable as they are. You know, stay away from that stuff. Let them be unhappy. You find a better way out of it. G-Man says, Bubba, bachelor's using better attitude. Thanks, Bubba. I'll write that one down. And then we'll have to weed out how we're gonna figure out which one's going to a poll, because it'll be a poll with 1,000 options. Maybe I'll pick my favorite, like 5 out of it or something. They say sexual liberation, and we know this. Sexual liberation destroyed the family, but it didn't make us happier. We know that. The pandemic may have irrevocably changed much of our nation as well as what our future looks like, but there's also another culprit when it comes to the dismantling of families, even as family units were strengthened in the 50s by the secure employment of working fathers, stay-at-home moms, and increasing consumer spending, as well as closely held values like the sanity of the family and more participation in organized religion. Those units began to unravel with the arrival of the sexual revolution and counterculture narratives, as well as the government invention in societal structures like the creation and promotion of welfare. Right. You don't need a community for church anymore, because you've got the social media for your community. Instead of going to church and being part of a church group, you now go to social media and you're part of an X whatever group. And you don't want to stand out, so people try to fit in. And if that fit in is being partially crazy or partially woke or partially whatever, people are doing it. They've gotten away from the nuclear family where the man earns, stay-at-home moms that take care of the family, increased consumer spending. They want you to buy, disposable everything. You buy something, you use it, you throw it away. We've turned into a disposable society. They say we've never lived in a more sexually liberated society than we do now, yet individuals of every age are having sex less than we used to, as compared to 30 years ago, even with an abundance of dating apps, birth control on demand, the industrialization of self-deletion of babies, as well as the commercialization and devaluing of sex. Americans have fewer partners, and even those who do have sex less often. It's been proven that frequency and enjoyment of sex as a society points to overall satisfaction and happiness, meaning if we put the two and two together, our society is neither truly sexually fulfilled nor happy and satisfied overall. It's because, when you get to be a point where it's a very debaucherous, crazy, wild society, nothing is good enough. Everything you don't have is better. So what you do have makes you miserable. There's no way to find happiness right now for a lot of people. And instead of finding happiness themselves, instead of being accountable for themselves, instead of crawling out of the bucket, what do? They try to make everybody else as miserable as they are. And that's where you guys need to avoid that. Whether you avoid it by just dating smart, by staying off the dating apps, by trying to date with quality, by not dating at all, by not getting married so that you get divorced and getting taken advantage of, by not having a kid with some crazy blue-haired whatever. Life becomes very simple. Then you can enjoy the better things in life that really matter. And again, like they're saying, people are having fewer partners, and those who are having bedroom partners are doing it less often, and they're not as happy about it. People are with people that they don't want to be with, they're not attracted to, but they're afraid of being alone. So they're just going with somebody. They say single-parent households are on the rise. When we discuss the most obvious negative effects of single-parent households, absent fatherhood and its proven consequences like rising instances of poverty and crime, logic dictates that feminism is indeed the obvious culprit. When women as a collective and the third-wave feminist narrative mandate that men are expendable and truly not essential to the functions of a family of a society, which couldn't be further from the truth, we have the only evident repercussions of that kind of rhetoric stirred and promoted ad nauseum for decades: the abandonment of mothers, the absence of fathers in the households, and subsequently a decaying family unit. Now, let's be honest about this. There are some guys that do abandon women. There are some guys that'll sleep with a woman, get her pregnant. He's like, nope, not ready for this, and he bails. That's the guy's fault, but it's also the women's fault for not vetting for quality men. Then you have, and they don't mention this here, but you have women that are not using protection, that are not being choosy about their partners, getting themselves in this problem, and You're also having these women telling the men, I don't want you in the kid's life. I want your child support in the kid's life, but I want you gone. I just want your money. That way I have the kid, I have me, I have your money, but not you. Happy days. And that's where they're getting in with these blue pillers, telling blue-pilled guys, oh, you're Mr. Perfect for me, and, me and my other 2 kids that I had in my 20s, I want to come to you, and now I'm ready to settle down at 34 and 4 kids later, and they come to guys that are just happy to get them, and that's how he gets in trouble. Journalist Mona Charon accurately surmises fathers are crucial to the healthy development of children, particularly sons. If there's one great wrong feminism must be held to account for, is the devaluation of men's role in the family. In their quest for self-actualization, the second-wave feminists scorn men and fathers insisting that women were fine on their own. Exactly. Men are not necessary anymore. And what do we see? We know crime, the ones ending up in prison, the ones doing the most self-harm, the ones harming others the most, the ones that are most likely to become a ditch dad, which means they get someone pregnant and bounce. Those people are usually the ones that don't have a father in the household. We need a father in the household. The nuclear family in the 21st century, in an age where every fundamental aspect of society is labeled as either right or left, woke or traditional, progressives or obsolete, we inevitably come back to pseudo-intellectuals and academics attacking the family structure, or more specifically, the nuclear family. And that's the only thing that's holding it all together. The U.S. has the highest number of single-parent households in the world. Single mothers. What's the percentage do they say here? I think it's something like 72%, 82% are single mother households. And they close it out. When our families suffer, everything around them suffers as a consequence. And we know this. Society's literally falling down around our ears at this point. So, guys, I don't have the very last dating profile of the day. I forgot to grab one. Let me see if I have one that's already blurred. We'll end this with a good dating profile. Let's see if I have one that's blurred out. Bear with me. Uno momento. Trying to find one that I haven't done before that I've already got blurred out, because I don't, on here, I don't want to get in trouble for sharing material that's not, all right, this doesn't, all right, this is just a nice simple one here. We'll wrap it up with this one. We'll do this as nothing earth-shattering, but I'm just grabbing one that doesn't have a photo on it. All right, we'll do this one as the last one, just because it doesn't have a photo and there's no name on this one. I'm not necessarily saying this is the best one, but it ties in very well to something we've talked about today. And guys, since I'm going to be wrapping this up in a minute, get your last-minute super chats in if you want me to read something. Get them going, and then we'll cover that, and then I'll color it. This is from 28 years old, guys, 28 years old. She's verified. It's a picture of a waterfall. And this is not earth-shattering, but listen to this. Tacos are life, that's fine. Living life to the fullest. I don't do hookups. Okay. Living life to the fullest. I don't do hookups. Maybe she's a keeper. And I have 2 kids.
Classic move. Oh, yeah.
She already has 2 kids at 28, but she doesn't do hookups anymore, guys.
You lose! Good day, sir!
Get out of here with that action. 2 kids, but she doesn't do hookups anymore. You should have done no hookups before you hit 28. She says, now here's the big one. Stop the music for this. This ties into everything I've been talking about this whole time. She says, and I'm also crazy. Swipe at your own risk.
It's a catastrophe, nothing less.
No. This is how we change the culture. This is how we change everything that's going on. You guys that say, how do we change culture? How do we make a difference in the world? You stop simping. You stop donating to these thirsty women. You stop getting on board with this stuff. You be careful with it. Because if you're not, what's going to happen is people just keep getting involved in this stuff. You keep going down that path. You have to say no. You have to say no. Because if you don't, you're going to get yourself in a bad place. You're going to get hooked up with one of these crazies. Your kid's not going to be your own. Something's going to go wrong. And we know it. And we know it. Guys, this time of year can be hard for a lot of bachelors. If you have any single friends out there, guys that you know maybe away from their families, maybe having some struggles or something, you know what? Just drop a line to them. Just say, hey, man, Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays. I know you're doing the single thing like I am, or you're doing the hanging alone. But, hey, man, just thinking of you and hope you have a good holiday. Just say something. Just share a little love, because you know something? That one message might cheer up someone's day, just being thought about. So if you got any friends like that, reach out to them. Stay strong in the community. Don't let the haters bring you down. I think 2022, I think if we keep it up, if we keep sharing the material, if we keep propping up men's channels, we keep talking the good talk, fighting the good fight, I think we've got, I don't think necessarily things are going to get better. Let me be clear about this. I'm not going to say, hey, you know what, this is 2022 is the year where we win, everything's going to be easier, and it's easy time. But if we hold the line, if you stick up for what you believe in, if you fight your cause, if you stop being silenced, and if you are being silenced on social media, find a different place to talk, find a different place to share the message. Keep pushing out there. That's all I can say about that one. Guys, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I hope all of your loved ones and people you care about, your friends, your jobs, everything goes well this year. If you hit a rough spot, just keep pushing through. Everything always gets better. Trust me on that. I've been through a lot of bad times, and it always ends. It always gets better. Pray for my Buffalo Bills to make it to the playoffs, because they started out great this year, and they're struggling mightily. And we'll talk to you next one. Don't forget to follow me over on my Better Bachelor B-Sides. Join me over on betterbachelor.locals.com. And you know something, guys? If you don't have 2 pennies to rub together, you say, Joker, I'm just dead-ass broke. I can't help you. Great. That's fine. Just check out my content. Maybe watch an advertisement. That'll pay me a penny. So if you watch 100 videos, you can pay me $1 that way. Guys, enjoy. Stay safe out there. We'll talk to you in the next one.